responsible.
And welcome here to Camogie GAA. It is still Pride Round. It is round 3 of the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. Already today we've seen Kilkenny and Galway pick up their third victories of the campaign. Rebecca Henley getting 2 sideline cuts for Galway as well. But here a very crucial match between Limerick and Offaly. After disappointing starts with 2 defeats, the losers of today's game can say goodbye to any quarter-final hopes and will be battling relegation. But for the winners, it could revitalise their season and get them back on track. I'm Darren Kelly, joined by my co-commentator Elaine Aylward. And Elaine, these two teams have gotten to know each other very well over the last couple of years. A very, very important game. Dare I say, a cup final type of game today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's winner takes it all really here today. And as you said, look, the loser is probably going to be facing a relegation battle, and we see what's going on in the other group, and who knows who's going to be on the bottom of that. So if I was Susan Erner or John Lillis here today is when I'd want to be kickstarting my championship ambitions and trying to stay out of that relegation battle.
We've seen Limerick already through our live streams this year. Disappointing day was for them against Cork, and of course they got relegated by Offaly in the Littlewoods Camogie League. They've already played Galway and Kilkenny, so in one way they will feel their championship really starts today.
Yeah, look, I suppose the league was obviously a huge disappointment to be relegated. I think they had over 20 debutants in that league campaign, so a real rebuilding from a Limerick point of view. And look, it's a difficult place to learn when you're coming into groups that have the likes of Cork in it, and as you said, they've already played Kilkenny and Galway in this group in the championship. But in one way that gives them, as you said, a launch pad for today. Now they have the 2 big guns out of the way. They can really look on focusing on the next 3 games now and trying to get results in those games, and it'll be a huge start here today if they can get a win over Offaly.
And you mentioned all the debutants during the league. They had 4 championship debutants in their opening game against Galway. A couple of them still involved in the starting team as well, and they'll grow with this experience.
Absolutely. Look, that's where you learn playing against the best teams in the country, and they're going to get that week on week, and look, you hope that they improve week on week with that experience, a lot of them with junior and minor experience. So it is a huge step up to the senior ranks, and I'm sure they would have found that throughout the league and championship again. And look, it doesn't come any tougher than it does in Kilkenny and Galway in the opening 2 rounds, but as you said, it's huge experience. You'll hope they'll have learned from it and they'll get to put that learning into practice here today.
Right, and Q Offaly have come out in the field of play to do their warm-up as well. Look, a very, very disappointing result the opening day for themselves against Antrim. They shuffled the deck a little bit with their players for the second game and put in a credible performance against Galway. Yeah,
and that seems to be the pattern of Offaly this year. It's been a little bit unpredictable. You know, you would have expected them maybe to push Antrim a little bit further, and in fact it was Galway they seemed to push that bit harder. But look, who knows where Galway were at in that particular game. But look, that's what they'll take the confidence from coming here today, I suppose, and it's a performance like that they'll be looking for more so than their opening round performance.
And even as you said there to start off with the league, disappointingly too, they got their act together to ensure their survival as well. But what they've really learned we'll find out today.
Absolutely. Look, and Offaly are dogged like that over the years. You know, they've been around relegation battles for the last couple of years, but it's very, very difficult to put them down, and I think Limerick will find that here again today. When Offaly's backs are against the wall, that seems to be when they produce their best performances, and we'll remain to see if that happens here today.
Limerick beat Offaly in last year's championship 17 points to 2-9 to ensure their survival. Offaly, as already mentioned, beat Limerick 3-10 to 113 in the league relegation final this year to ensure their survival. Who's going to survive today, Lane?
Yeah, as you said, 2 teams that know one another very, very well and seem to be meeting one another in these do or die battles. Look, it's a home game for Limerick, so they'll have that to their advantage, but I just think Offaly will have that little bit of experience, and as I said, they're a dogged team. There's a lot of experience there. They're on the road a long time, and sometimes it's just hard to knock those kind of teams, and I think Offaly might just do enough today to prevail.
It's a bit breezy here in Cappamore, but conditions are absolutely perfect. Hopefully the rain stays away over the next hour and a half or so. Limerick against Offaly in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship coming up shortly. We'll get some pre-match thoughts from the respective managements, and then myself and Elaine will be back in the commentary box for live coverage here in Cappamore. Delighted to be joined now by the Limerick Senior Camogie manager John Lillis. John, we were just saying in the preview, you've already Galway and Kilkenny played, would have learned a lot from both games. Today's a real chance for you to kickstart your season.
Yeah, today's a massive day for us. Ourselves and Offaly both in the same boat with no wins yet. Look, we've two good performances against Kilkenny and against Galway. We need a win for the group. We need a good performance again today. We're a long time now without a win. Today's the day where hopefully we'll get the show back on the road.
And you've a lot of new players this year. A few debutants came in the first day against Galway as well. You've learned from those 2 hours of Camogie you've played so far. This is the day now to show what you've learned. Yeah,
it was a very tough start to the year. We've a lot of girls that played last year that aren't here again this year. It's a brand new squad. We've a couple of girls back from long-term injury, which is great. A few girls that played the last day against Kilkenny aren't here today through holidays and other commitments. So it's been chop and change it every week. So hopefully we're going to get a settled team at some stage that we can start getting wins and get a few good performances.
You've had a week off leading into this match. It's an Offaly team you know very well.
Yeah, we've only played each other again there a few weeks back in the league relegation final, and that day, look, Offaly hit us with a couple of goals very early. They got the win that day, so I'm hoping that we'll get the win today in the championship and kickstart our year. Look, so hopefully.
A great opportunity here in Cappamore. We're just saying conditions absolutely perfect too, and hopefully good support for Limerick.
Yeah, it's great to finally get a home game. A lot of our games so far have been away. The sun is out, the rain is staying away for a while. Hopefully now the wind doesn't play too much havoc with the game, and it's a good open sporting contest.
Well, John, we're looking forward to it. Thanks a million.
Thanks very much.
We're delighted to be joined now by the Offaly Senior Camogie manager Susan Erner. Susan, a big game again for your team as well, but a credible performance against Galway the last day.
Yeah, this is a huge game for us. We're desperate for points, I suppose, and coming off the back of the Galway game, we were very pleased kind of leaving the Galway match to put in a huge performance. The work rate was savage, and we kept them to a 9-point margin, which was a considerable difference compared to other years. So yeah, we're quite happy with the way things turned out, but this match is a big test for us, and let's hope we can come out on the right side.
And especially after the disappointing opening day against Antrim, you shuffled the deck in regards to positions that day against Galway, but this is the game that you really need to take something out of.
Yeah, we're very disappointed with the Antrim game. It just seemed to fall apart on us in the second half, but look, you have to move on. You can't just be thinking about that match for the whole championship. Today's a new day, a couple of different positional changes. That's why the championship is so good, having 5 rounds. It gives us time to find the best position for the best players. We know we're up against a tough challenge today. They're going to be out eager to beat us. Like, we're always the underdog when it comes to odds and things like that. So look, we're hoping we're ready mentally and physically today.
You always know when Offaly come into a game as underdogs, you can't write them off. You've proved it already this year against Limerick in the league relegation playoff.
Yeah, we've played Limerick in the league relegation, and I suppose that's going to give them a bit of ammunition as well, putting them down to Division 2. So we have to be really, really ready for that challenge.
And as you mentioned, Susan, as well, the old format is back in with the 5 games as well. So despite the disappointment of 2 defeats, there's plenty of time to turn the season around.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we'd hope to get a win today against Limerick. We have a big challenge next week against Kilkenny, and then another game against Down. And hopefully, we'll be able to grab a couple of points from there. We've been struggling the last few years in relegation battles, and we definitely don't want to be there again this year.
Susan, we're looking forward to this game. Best of luck.
All right, perfect. Thanks a million. Thanks.
And that was the Offaly Senior Camogie manager Susan Erner, and beforehand you heard from the Limerick boss John Lillis. We are here in Cappamore GA Club for the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship Round 3, the second weekend of the Pride Round. Limerick against Offaly. And Elaine, as we look at the 2 teams out there before we run through the sides, as we mentioned, a real important game for both sides' ambitions to have any say in a potential quarter-final.
Absolutely. Look, both without any points, I suppose, coming into this round 3 of games. So, as Susan Erner said, really desperate just to get some points on the board. And I think both of them would probably have seen it as an opportunity when they saw the group earlier in the year. Having met one another in the Division 2 or in Division 1 playoff, Offaly came out on that occasion. So, as you said, Limerick won't be short of motivation for this one, and Offaly know what it's like to be playing senior camogie and Division 1 camogie, and they'll want to try and maintain that status today.
Well, let's look at the two teams at the moment, and we'll start with the home side, Limerick. Now, the 1 to 15 that were named, we're expecting a couple of late changes from this starting team. In goal, number 1, Claire Keating. A full back line of 2, Teresa Dorr, 3, Mirren Creamer, and the captain is number 4, Marion Quaid. Half back line were number 5, Mairead Ryan. Centre back number 6, Sophie O'Callaghan, and 7 is Stephanie Wolfe. In midfield were number 8, Niamh Ryan, partnered by number 9, Alva Larkin. The half forward line, 10, Caroline Brennan. One of 2 changes from the side that played Kilkenny 2 weeks ago. Rebecca DeLee is number 11, and 12 is Caoimhe Costello. 13 Caoimhe Lyons, 14 Lorraine McCarthy, and the other change, number 15, Sarah O'Brien. Elaine, that's the team that's named, but we are expecting a couple of late changes.
Yeah, they seem to be lining up there just in a little bit of training beforehand, and there's look to be a couple of both personnel changes and positional changes, but we'll keep an eye on that. But look, as you said, plenty of experience there, especially in defence. If you look at Sophie O'Callaghan at 6, Marion Quaid and Marion Creamer in the full back line behind her. So look, they'll be looking to keep tabs on an Offaly full forward line today, I suppose, who'll be intent on trying to rack up a couple of early scores. There's a strong breeze here blowing from right to left, so the team that is playing into that goal on our left hand side will look to have taken a half time advantage into half time, because it's going to be worth a couple of points.
And we can tell you it is a strong breeze from our elevated commentary box here in Cappamore as well. We can feel it too, so no doubt the Slitter will feel it on the field of play. Let's look at the Offaly team that is named for this match, and their team in full: Eleanor Clendenin in goal. Full back line of 2, Sarah Guinan. 3 is Aisling Feeney, and 4 is Orla Gorman. The half back line were number 5, Grace Teehan. Centre back number 6 is the vice captain, Aisling Brennan, and 7 is Orla Phelan. In midfield were number 8, Sarah Walsh, partnered by number 9, Louise Mannion. The half forward line, 10, Sarah Harding. 11, Mairead Teehan, and 12 is Christine Cleary. And the inside line, top of the right, number 13, Famel Rooney, was the one change from their last day against Galway. 14, Siobhan Flannery, and the captain is number 15, Roisin Egan. Elaine, they're the 15 that will start, but I think positionally there'll be a lot of changes.
Yeah, you'd imagine there will be, and that'll probably be dictated a little bit by what direction they're playing in the first half as well, and how Susan Erner looks to set up. But look, plenty of experience in that Offaly setup. As I said, you just look at Siobhan Flannery at full forward, Mairead Teehan, Roisin Egan up front, some of the Rhinos girls back in on the back of their really successful couple of years with the club, so they'll bring a huge confidence to this Offaly team. And look, I think we're going to have a really close encounter today, and it's going to be something special maybe that will separate these two at the end.
Yes, as we mentioned earlier on, only 2 points separated them in last year's championship, and indeed there was only a goal between them when they met in the league relegation final this year. A very, very important game for both Limerick and Offaly. 2 defeats in their opening 2 games. This is last chance saloon for both to be in the mix for a potential Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship quarter-final spot. We've had a late change in referee from that announced during the week. Liz Dempsey from Kilkenny, of course one of the most experienced officials in the country, will oversee this game, and it's great to have a player or a referee of Liz's calibre overseeing this match.
Absolutely. Look, Liz is well known around the country, I suppose, for her top quality standard of refereeing. So, refereed All Ireland's club finals, she's done them all, so a huge game again today. And look, I expect she'll have very little input on the game. The game will be left flow, and Liz will contribute to that.
She will indeed, as we look at both teams there just having their huddles at the moment, just off screen. Of course, Elaine, one key part for whichever team succeeds today is scorers. Like Caoimhe Costello has scored 110 in the championship for Limerick. She'll be key for them, but nobody else has scored more than 1 point, and that's only 3 players. On the other side, it's Mairead Teehan. She scored 210 in the championship. Outside of her, they've only 4 other scorers, Aisling Brennan and Sarah Harding, with a couple each. They'll need other forwards to step up today.
Absolutely. Look, and I think in these kind of familiar encounters, when you've played a team last year in the championship, played them again in the league this year, you get to know one another very well. And look, both sets of backroom teams will have their homework done. They'll be trying to isolate Caoimhe Costello on the Limerick team and curb her influence on the game, and likewise Limerick will be trying to do the same with the likes of Mairead Teehan. So it's up to some of the players, some of the support players around them, to step up now and take the scores today and take the game to the opposition. And I suppose that's what maybe some of these teams lack when it comes to real championship hurling, is that the spread of scores just isn't always there for them. So huge chance today for someone else, as I said, to step step up and get their name on the score sheet.
And experience will be vital as well. Only 14 of the 30 named players started last year's championship meeting between these two teams. I think the figure is 8 for Limerick and 6 for Offaly, though Siobhan Flannery was on the bench for Offaly in that game and did score 4 points after coming off the bench as well. She's down to start as well today. With the lack of experience of both sides as well, as those experienced heads we're talking about will be vital.
Yeah, and that's it, as we said, Limerick or Offaly have been around these relegation battles and these lower tier, I suppose, playoffs the last couple of years, and that brings its own level of experience. It's probably not the level of experience you'd want to be experiencing the highs of a winning and quarter-finals and things like that. So I suppose, but it brings its own experience and it brings its own, you can't look past the likes of Siobhan Flannery and players that have been around the Offaly setup for huge periods of time to bring that kind of experience to a team.
Well, we're getting ready to start the game as well, and I'm just looking around the field of play, and I see 1 to 15 in all the jerseys named. We're just double checking that they are matching the programmes that we have. But Limerick and Offaly are set to go. There is a positional switch in midfield where Christine Cleary will line out for Offaly, but that's as we have it here. We're getting ready to start the game. Limerick attacking the goal to the right. This is the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship, and we're getting ready to start here as Mike Ryan, the linesman in front of us here in the commentary box, gives us a thumbs up. We give him one back, and the game is underway. Limerick against Offaly in the All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. Offaly in possession at the moment as Grace Tehan doesn't take the pass from Aisling Brennan, and Offaly just trying to move the ball between the two 65-metre lines, and Limerick just applying the pressure in the early stages. The first ball very, very vital. Player goes to ground for Offaly. It's going to be a free for them.
Yeah, and huge intensity to it straight away. Limerick bodies right in on the Offaly player and trying to turn her over. Huge physical encounter, but Offaly now playing with that strong breeze in the first half, so a chance for them maybe to put this one close to the scoring area, if not over the bar, with that strong breeze behind them.
So we're just getting ready to restart the play there. It might well be Aisling Brennan that'll be taking this free from Offaly just outside the 65-metre line, and just in the middle there as we look around positions. The first score very, very important, but especially for Offaly, who have this strong wind, and Aisling Brennan sends one down towards it. This is our third point of the championship. Indeed it is. The ball goes over the bar. 58 seconds gone. 1 point to nil to Offaly.
Yeah, and that just gives you an idea, I suppose, of the breeze. So the Limerick puck out now going to be crucial, and Offaly will look to maybe pin Limerick into that half the field.
Claire Keating sends it down towards the middle of the park, missing out on Caroline Brennan on that occasion. And Offaly, the reading well as expected, Roisin Egan has come out towards the middle of the field, where number 15, good block down on that occasion by the Limerick number 8, who's Niamh Ryan. She gives the pass off from Mairead Ryan, and Mairead Ryan on the move down the right plays a low ball across the field, hoping to find Caroline Brennan again, and not to be in. The ball is won back by Christine Cleary for Offaly. She finds Grace Tehan, but Grace Tehan under pressure, and this is an opportunity here for Cueva Lyons. Cueva Lyons getting inside, goes for a shot at the post. The ball has gone over the bar. The sides are level, 1 point apiece.
Yeah, and Offaly will be disappointed with that. A super response to Limerick, I suppose. Won the ball a couple of times, lost it back, but had to win it. And again, you can hear the call to carry it into that breeze. They're obviously going to have to work the ball up through the lines, and they have really strong players around the middle of the field who will do that.
Eleanor Clendenin, you can see the distance she gets in the ball, gets it past the opposing 65-metre line, but Limerick win back possession again, and they'll just try and pick up the few scores in this early stages. A great tussle will be between Caroline Brennan and Orla Phelan, but this is Rebecca DeLee on the run for Limerick, and she's running through here and goal now. Player inside, she wants to go for the pass, goes for the shot herself. The ball goes to the right and wide. Probably should have looked for the player inside.
Yeah, certainly should have got something out of it anyway. The goal was there for the taking, but should definitely have got a point when she went high with it, and a poor wide from a Limerick point of view. They'll be happy that they managed to turn over that Offaly puck out.
Eleanor Clendenin, the Offaly goalkeeper, was an All-Star nominee in 2012 when Offaly met the All-Ireland Senior Camogie semi-finals. They haven't reached those heights since. They did make a quarter-final in 2013, losing out to Wexford by just 1 point, but they're a very battled, resilient side, as are Limerick. Right in front of us here in the commentary box is Niamh Ryan from the Bruff Club, and she will take this sideline cut just outside her own 65-metre line, sends it down the right, hoping to find a player in space. She finds plenty of space. Has she found the green jersey? She has found the jersey of Sarah O'Brien, and Sarah O'Brien is on the move there. There's a player inside. She wants to give the pass. That's to Caroline Brennan. The two changes from the game against Kilkenny. Caroline Brennan goes to ground. No foul, says the referee, and Offaly will bring the ball out the field as well. And this is Roisin Egan, the captain, not playing ladies football this year, focusing entirely on Camogie. Offaly have lost some big names in their Camogie circles this year, like the likes of Michaela Morgan, Lorraine Keena and Linda Sullivan, not involved this year. The referee blows the whistle. It looks like we're going to throw the ball in just inside the 65-metre line.
Yeah, Yeah, and Offaly just making life a little bit difficult for themselves in their own half back line. They're playing with a strong breeze behind them and just maybe overdoing it on occasion with the hand pass out there. Maybe just quicker to get that ball out of defence rather than giving Limerick the chance to turn them over.
Alva Larkin has the ball for Limerick, sends it out towards the right, and the white helmet of the number 5 is Mairead Ryan. Mairead Ryan there up against Mairead Tehan. Mairead Tehan known for her forward skills but doing a bit of defensive work there. Sarah O'Brien trying to hold the ball for Limerick. They just want to try and build up the tally, and Sarah O'Brien's worked very hard to get this now. Can she send the ball across? Can she keep it in play is the first question. She needs some support. Sends a hand pass into space for Alva Larkin, but Alva doesn't bring the ball. However, it's won by Niamh Ryan. Niamh Ryan gives the pass back in the direction of Caroline Brennan. Caroline Brennan back to Niamh Ryan, and Niamh Ryan moves inside. A chance for a shot for Limerick, looking for a second score. Looks good from our angle. Does it look good for the umpire? They actually hit the upright, comes down, and Offaly have to be very, very alert. Only as far as the number 12, Caoimhe Costello. Caoimhe Costello with the shot across the goal to the right and wide. Two big names, two early wides.
Yeah, and two costly wides from a Limerick point of view. They're playing against that breeze, but really they're making light work of it. They're getting the chances at that goal, but just not making them count. And look, you feel they're going to probably have to punish Offaly with those chances.
It's Limerick 1 point, Offaly 1 point, 4 minutes and 40 seconds gone. The high challenge there, play continues on. The two number 8s going to battle. Sarah Walsh, the number 8 for Offaly, leaves it for Roisin Egan. Roisin Egan sends it across to the white helmet of Christine Cleary. Christine Cleary doesn't hold on to the ball because it's the captain, Marion Quaid, for Limerick. The wins possession back, tries to offload to Alva Larkin, opts to go in a different direction, and Limerick have opened up space in the Offaly defence. They're definitely creating the chances in the early stages. This is Rebecca DeLee on the move for Limerick, going for a shot at the post. That has gone to the left and wide. Another wide for Limerick.
Yeah, another disappointing wide again, but again Offaly in the ascendancy on the attack, and just the pass over just overhit Christine Cleary on the far side, turned it over and left Limerick into possession again. So look, from an Offaly point of view, playing with that breeze behind them, as I said, I think they just need to get the ball in a little bit quicker into that full forward line.
Eleanor Clendenin, the Offaly goalkeeper, just wants to slow it down for a moment, get her team back up and running. They just want to get scores the other end. That's what it's all about today. A close battle as we expect between Limerick and Offaly, and Limerick are winning all the breaks at the moment and winning them well. Caoimhe Costello sending the ball down into the attack in the direction of Lorraine McCarthy. They're battling for the ball as Caoimhe Lyons, the number 13, up against Sarah Guinan. We're number 2 for Offaly, and Orla Phelan will clear it down the field for the faithful county. Gets good distance on the ball. There's an opportunity for Offaly now as Louise Mannion tried to send the ball inside, blocked down by Stephanie Wolfe for Limerick, but Siobhan Flannery, whereas number 14, loses out on this occasion to Miriam Creamer. And of course Miriam Creamer playing in her home club here off Cappamore. A great honour for herself to be here today. The ball goes out over the line. It's going to be an Offaly sideline ball.
Yeah, and look, we were talking about the quick ball maybe into that Offaly full forward line, but credit to Limerick, they dealt really, really well with it on that occasion, got the numbers back, and they have the likes of, as you said, Miriam Creamer and Marion Quaid in that full back line who have huge experience in there.
We're just going to have a hold up and play there. There's a Limerick player on the ground at the moment, so it's a chance to take a breath. You can see the sun starting to come out here as well. Just looking behind us here in the commentary box, there's plenty of dark clouds in Cappamore, but they seem to be circling the field at the moment, and hopefully that remains the case over the next 54 plus minutes of the game, because so far in early stages, there's a couple of mistakes in both teams, but an enjoyable game.
Yeah, and two evenly matched teams. Limerick have probably had the better of the opportunities so far, but have failed to make them count, and Offaly still maybe trying to find their feet a little bit to get into this game, but as you said, that can often be the case when you're playing with that breeze and it takes you a little while to settle. You maybe waste 10 or 15 minutes of that breeze at your back, but look, Limerick, as I said, doing really well against the breeze, carrying it where they need to and turning Offaly over when they need to as well. So Offaly will be anxious now just to get on the scoreboard and get their championship campaign kicked off.
If you haven't heard the results from earlier on in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship, Kilkenny beating Antrim by 115 to 1-9, only a couple of points between them at half time. Galway, massive result, 323 to 6 points against Down, the two favourites on 9 points apiece. Antrim in third on 4, Down on 1. Both these sides waiting for their opening point. Whoever wins this game will move up into fourth place, just 1 point behind that coveted third spot as the ball spills around again. The breeze is not helping matters there as Aisling Brennan, well, not Aisling Brennan in that occasion, with Sarah Walsh wins the ball for Offaly, puts it into space, but Alva Larkin working very hard in the Limerick midfield, has the ball, looks up again. They want to get Sarah O'Brien in the ball as much. She did well to get her hands on that. It was an excellent take from Caoimhe Lyons actually, but unfortunately for her, she stepped out over the line. So it's going to be a sideline cut for Offaly, and it's going to be taken by Sarah Guinan, and Sarah Guinan restarts the action but gives the ball back to Caoimhe Lyons. However, Sarah jumps in there to win back possession of the ball for the Leinster side, hits it into space in the direction of Christine Cleary. Christine Cleary with the composure turns on the right, down towards the attack, looking for Siobhan Flannery. Siobhan Flannery against Miriam Creamer. That's another tasty battle that's going to happen in this game, and Miriam Creamer sends it down the field again towards Sarah O'Brien, who's swapped corners with Cueva Lyons, and the ball breaking away from both sides, both struggling to get a fluid movement going. Roisin Egan gives the pass over. Looks like Sarah Harding with a shot there for Offaly. The ball has gone over the bar. It was Sarah Harding who gets the point. 8.5 minutes in, and it's 2 points to 1 to Offaly.
Yeah, and a score that Offaly badly needed, I think, just to get a foothold into this game. As I said, playing with that breeze, but starting to use the ball a lot better and going a little bit more direct on it, which is cutting out the chances Limerick have to overturn them.
Claire Keating with the puck out for Limerick finds Niamh Ryan in the middle of the field, being marked by Orla Phelan, the expense of a foul, and Limerick, the Shannon Siders, will restart the action in just a moment. Limerick were All-Ireland quarter-finalist in 2019, a disappointing 2020 and 2021 they had in the championship, but they'll hope to turn that around this year as Niamh Ryan from Brough takes the free, down towards the corner again. This is the Limerick tactic, get it down to the inside line. On this occasion it's won by Cueva Costello. Cueva Costello coming inside, was she tripped in the process? The referee Liz Dempsey says that she was. It's going to be a free in for Limerick.
Yeah, and Limerick look dangerous inside in that full forward line when they get good ball in there on that occasion. You know, Cueva Lyons taking on the defence and getting a little clip of the heels from Grace Tean and winning the free for herself in there. So, you know, every time Offaly have gotten a score, Limerick have been able to respond.
We can tell you the injured Limerick player earlier on was Marion Quaid, the captain. She's back on her feet and playing a centre back at the moment in this Limerick team. A few positional switches, but this is Cueva Costello, 110 in the championship so far, looking to add to that tally as well. She is the key player for Limerick in this match, and as again, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but this is no gimme by any stretch of the imagination. The breeze is really tough here, but if Cueva Costello can put this over the bar, it'll give Limerick a lift as we pass the 10-minute mark in the opening half here. So Limerick looking to level the teams for the second time. Cueva Costello takes the free. We'll follow Dilson. Comes off the upright again, or either the wind blew that back as well. I'm not too sure from my vantage point, but either way it didn't go over the bar, and it's a battle on the 20-metre line between Limerick and Offaly, and Lorraine McCarthy was there for Limerick, lays it off for Rebecca DeLee. A chance, she runs into the two players. The two Offaly players close the route. Limerick will get another free, but a better angle.
Yeah, and I think Aisling Brennan knew exactly what she was doing when she saw Rebecca DeLee heading for a goal there. Happy to take her down rather than risk the opportunity, but again, the free off the upright, as you said, no gimmies with that breeze out there today, and Limerick doing really well just to recycle it then and get the chance again. They look to be a little bit sharper, a little bit quicker off the mark than Offaly at the moment.
So Aisling Brennan, is she hobbling there at the moment? I think the referee is going to have a word with her. She looked like she was hobbling there for a moment as she retrieved her hurl. So this could be the first yellow card in the game after 11 minutes of action. And that is a yellow card going to Aisling Brennan. So Cueva Costello, I don't think she'll be doing anything clever with this at the moment. She'll want to put this over the bar. Of course, she is an All-Ireland minor winning captain back in 2014 when Limerick surprised everybody by winning the minor A title and showing the talent coming through in the county and looking to go further in the senior ranks. Cueva Costello with the free for Limerick. Can she put this over the bar? The umpire seems happy with it. He goes for the white flag. 11.5 minutes gone. It's all square. Limerick 2, Offaly 2.
Yeah, and again, look, I suppose Offaly had that little purple patch there for a couple of minutes tacked on that point, but Limerick really quick to respond, and you know, as I said, they look dangerous inside in that full forward line if they can get a supply of ball in there.
Long drive down again from Eleanor Clendenin, but Limerick seem to like those long balls down to in front of their half back line. Marion Quaid, as we mentioned, has come out in the 40 to get involved in the action up against Mairead Tehan, the captain for Limerick, but she gets hooked in that occasion. Offaly have a player there, but so do Limerick. Niamh Ryan is the player with the ball now outside the 45-metre line, gives the ball away. Offaly a chance. This is Roisin Egan. Can she get a score in this game? That looks like it's going to go to the right and wide. First wide of the game for Offaly.
First wide for Offaly, but came from great work from Mairead Tehan. You know, couple of hooks there in that build-up turned Limerick over and just didn't leave them as comfortable as they have been coming out of defence for the last couple of minutes there.
Claire Keating restarts the action for Limerick again, getting good distance against the wind there, getting it down towards the opposing 65-metre line. Foul on Sarah Walsh by Caroline Brennan, so it's going to be a free for Offaly inside their 65-metre line, and it's Aisling Brennan who again has got one long-range free already now, a bit closer than this one was. Elaine, would she have a go at this, do you reckon?
Absolutely, I think so. She had plenty to spare on the first one, as I said, probably on the closer 65 to the goal she was shooting into, but this one she should have the distance.
Aisling Brennan was vice-captain in 2021 as well as 2022. This is going to be very close towards the goal. Limerick needs to be careful. Claire Keating bats it out. Bjorn Creamer needs to bring it. Hasn't brought it fully. Siobhan Flannery had a touch on the ground, but Sophie O'Callaghan, who looks like she's gone back into the full-back line, is the player that gets it out the field. And Sophie O'Callaghan was playing the forwards last year, back in the defence this year. Often plays in midfield too. And Limerick moving it up towards the 65-metre line, but Offaly starting to fight for the dirty ball in this match. It goes out over the line, the far side of the field. field, and it's going to be Limerick that restart the action with a sideline cut. Plenty of sideline cuts in this game as both teams wanting to use the width of Cappamore GA Club, and we have to compliment the stewards and everybody here in Cappamore who have looked after us very, very well since we arrived for this match earlier on. Niamh Ryan takes the sideline cut, sends it down the left, ball breaks away from the intended target, and Nora Phelan gets in there in the mix for Offaly. There's a scrum of players around the field. The referee spots the foul. Going to be a free out for Offaly. It might have been Grace Teahan who won that free in the occasion. Either way, another opportunity for Aisling Brennan.
Yeah, and Offaly I think just starting to grow into the game a little bit there, more throwing themselves around. Maybe Grace Teahan did really well to win that ball out of the dirty rock and was turned over by Limerick then and won the free. So chance again for Aisling Brennan. Didn't quite have the distance on the last one, but it was a dangerous ball that was dealt with ably by the Limerick full back line.
Aisling Brennan from a similar distance came very, very close the last time. This one looks like it's going to hold up a little bit more. Maybe getting one of the inside players there, gets away from them all, and Muireann Creamer will bring the ball out for Limerick out to field, but she wasn't looking where that ball was going and gives it straight back to Sarah Walsh. Sarah Walsh with a shot here for Offaly. It'd be a good score if she gets it. Not to be. Little hook came in at the end, but either way it goes wide.
Yeah, two small mistakes there I suppose. Firstly the clearance from Limerick, and then when the shot was going away there, Caroline Brennan got in from a Limerick point of view just to get a little hook on it, just to drift it out wide.
Limerick playing a bit carelessly there with the ball, and it's an opportunity for a goal for Offaly. Goes across the goal. I think the snapshot came from Faye Mulrooney. It goes across the goal and wide. You could tell the overhit short puck of Claire Keating to Muireann Creamer. It wasn't dealt with properly in Offaly. Starting to press the Limerick here.
Yeah, look, I suppose we were speaking about the composure in the Limerick full backline a few minutes ago when they dealt with the high balls coming in, but showed a real probably overconfidence and lack of composure dealing with that sharp puck out, and very nearly gifted Offaly a goal.
Mairead Teahan wasn't happy. She didn't get a free there when Sophie O'Callaghan won the ball on that occasion. Play continues on towards the 65-metre line with Mairead Ryan, but Offaly win the ball back again, and a few little mistakes from both teams now are starting to get punished. I think we're going to have another Offaly free. Mairead Teahan hasn't had a chance to express herself with a free yet. She's been given the sliotar by her captain Roisin Egan, so that could be a captain's call. It looks like Mairead Ryan is going to be going in the book.
Yeah, I think just a little chop down on that. Had gained possession of Sophie O'Callaghan's clearance as she was coming out with it, took the pop past from her, then was turned over by Offaly just on the 65, and I think a little bit of frustration, maybe a chop down on Mairead Teahan and right in front of Liz Dempsey's eyes, so Liz Dempsey brandishing the yellow card there.
Mairead Teahan has scored 210 in the championship so far, which is not a bad innings when you take into account you're playing the Antrums and Galways of the world. Can she get off the mark in this game? It's a long range effort, so Mairead Teahan getting ready to take this for Offaly. They've yet to lead. Well, Offaly have led twice, my apologies. Limerick have come back to level on both occasions. Can she put Offaly in front for the third time in this game? Still over 16 minutes gone. It's going to be close. The umpires seem to like it. The ball has gone over the bar. Mairead Teahan is off the mark. 3 points to 2 to Offaly.
Yeah, a huge score and a huge hit. As I said, had plenty on it when it still hit the net behind the goal, so there is that really strong breeze there, but had to be really, really accurate with that one, and super start for her.
Claire Keating with long on that occasion, and Offaly batted down again. This is a big moment for Offaly in the game as Faye Mulrooney has a crack at the post into the hands of the Limerick goalkeeper, also plays with Cappamore as well. So 2 Cappamore players on the field of play here representing the Shannon Siders today, and good in link of passes there as Limerick send it down the right. They were doing that well in the first 10 minutes, struggled the last couple of moments, but have looked very, very dangerous when they get the ball near the Offaly goal. Niamh Ryan goes the ball, very tight marking there from Offaly. The referee not happy with what she's seen. I reckon she hasn't indicated any fouls. It looks like it's going to be a throw-in.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to throw it in on that occasion. I thought it was good pressure from the Offaly half back line. I think possibly Niamh Ryan lying on that ball, but is Dempsey happy to throw it in?
So players, they're all eager to get at this ball again. You can see the number 12 for Limerick is Caoimhe Costello in the white helmet in there, and she just gets her body in the way ahead of Sarah Walsh trying to win possession, but Offaly are getting at the secondary ball, the third ball as it is. Unfortunately for Roisin Egan, it goes out over the line, so it's going to be a sideline cut for Limerick, and Caoimhe Costello is going to have a take at this. Not really a day here, Elaine, to go for 2 pointers and sideline cuts, but Rebecca Henley has done it for Galway earlier on.
Yeah.
But Caoimhe Costello will have a go at some stage.
Yeah, possibly not into the breeze in this first half, maybe with the support of the breeze in the second half, but she still got good distance on it.
She did get it inside there, hoping that Rebecca Delee would get on the end of that, but not to be. And Offaly win possession and send it out the field as well into the open space there too, as battle for players. Teresa Doris there in the maroon helmet for Limerick, but it's Roisin Egan in possession. Told about a pass, decides to send it in the direction of Siobhan Flannery, gets away from Siobhan. Muireann Creamer with the ball for Limerick, but spills possession. Referee said that Louise Mannion committed the foul in the process, so it's going to be a free out for Limerick, and Muireann Creamer, as has picked up an injury there at the moment, so we're going to have a hold up and play.
Yeah, I didn't quite see that. Came out of a tackle with Siobhan Flannery, which I thought was a fair enough tackle from Siobhan Flannery, but seemed to go to ground then as soon as the next tackle came in. And Liz Dempsey does look like she's having a word with Siobhan Flannery there. But just in the build-up play, Roisin Egan did really, really well. Come in on the back of the ruck and pick it up, and probably could have played a longer ball across the field, but saw the run of Siobhan Flannery and tried to play it into her. Siobhan just mistouched it, and that gave Limerick the chance to win it back.
Looks like Siobhan Flannery was questioning the decision there, because I'd imagine that it might be Louise Mannion that gets any card if that is coming as well. But Siobhan Flannery just questioning the decision, and she's not happy with that. Limerick have a free out. Of course, Miriam Creamer, I mentioned she's playing in her home club ground here. 2014, a massive year for Limerick Camogie. We talked about Caoimhe Costello, captain into minor success, but of course that year too they won Division 2 of the National League. They won a Munster Championship as well, and of course a fantastic victory over Kilkenny in the All-Ireland Intermediate Final in Croke Park. That yellow card does come for Louise Mannion. 3 yellow cards in the early stages, but again, Elaine, I suppose it's just like both teams have to be disciplined as well. It's a very, very important day. It carries its own pressure for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and these two teams know one another really well. As we said, they're two, very familiar with one another, so sometimes that breeds a little bit of contempt, that familiarity, but nothing malicious in any of the tackles so far. Just a hard fought, tough game.
Louise Mannion, who got that yellow card, was minor joint captain for Offaly in 2018. Sophie O'Callaghan was going to take the free, but she's decided to leave it off for the goalkeeper Claire Keating, and Claire Keating will get ready to restart the action inside her own 45-metre line. Offaly in front by 3 points to 2 as we come up near the 20-minute mark of the first half of this Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship, and as Rebecca DeLee with the ball for Limerick, sending it down towards the attack, hoping to pick out Lorraine McCarthy. Lorraine McCarthy will do well to keep that in play, being put under pressure by the Offaly fullback Aisling Feeney, but Lorraine McCarthy has kept the ball in play, has gone to ground, play continues on, but Offaly have overturned the ball. The referee spots a foul. Looks like it's a free in for Limerick.
Yeah, I think she's blown the Offaly player there for charging out with the ball, so I'm not too sure of it. I think her head was probably down and she looked up to come out. I'm not sure she had any other option, but or perhaps.
So it looks like we're going to have the free in for Limerick. It'll be a chance here for Caoimhe Costello to restore parity. Level twice so far in the game. It might be low scoring, but plenty of end-to-end stuff between these two teams. Limerick will definitely be the happier so far, despite being a point down, because that breeze they have in the second half, they've showed their threat already, even if they've thrown a couple of chances away. Caoimhe Costello with the free for Limerick. 20 minutes and 50 seconds gone in the opening half. Can she put this over the bar and make it 3 points apiece? The umpires nodded at each other. They're happy enough with that. All square again in Capamore. Limerick 3, Offaly 3.
Yeah, and I just thought for a second maybe would she have a go for the goal nice and low. There was only one on the line, and Clendellen was the only one on the Offaly line, so I thought Caoimhe might have a go with it, but given how tight the game is, I suppose happy to take the free and, as you said, get back on level terms.
Limerick didn't need any goals last year when they beat Offaly 17 points to 2-9. That was in St. Brian and St. Banagher, but they did concede 3 goals to Offaly in the relegation final earlier this year. Goals will be key in a day like today, but we're watching Offaly on the move through Sarah Walsh. Sarah Walsh pushing down the field there, being marked tightly by Sophie O'Callaghan, but she's done well to keep the move going, and this could be an opportunity for Offaly if they can hold on to the ball. It's springing around the ground, but nobody seems to be able to pick it up, and Claire Keating just gets in front of Faye Mulrooney to bring the ball out towards the 20-metre line, but again Offaly pressing in on the Limerick defence, and Claire Keating not taking any chances getting back on the goal. I think Sophie O'Callaghan, well, definitely one of the Limerick defenders who gotten back on the goal was Sophie O'Callaghan, who stepped in. There's 2 of them wearing yellow helmets, the other is Stephanie Wolf. Offaly on the move again through there, Sarah Harding, who just has lost possession of the ball. The ball just won't seem to stay in anyone's hand in this type of game as well, but Offaly outside the 20-metre line, moving close again. The Limerick defenders are back to close it out, and it's won by Niamh Ryan. Niamh Ryan gets it out the field again, and Limerick avert the danger for now, but it will be very brief as Orla Phelan drives it back down towards the goal. Would this be a point for Offaly? That ball goes to the right and wide. Nothing there for Offaly. 4 wides in the game for them.
No, and they put a lot of energy into that build-up. There's a couple of them still picking themselves up off the ground, and there was a super run, I think was it by Aisling Brennan initially from centre back, carried the ball right through the heart of the Limerick defence, took a couple of heavy tackles on the way through, but as you said, no one could just quite make it stick, and I think that was due to the tenacious tackling from both sides. Limerick looked to have won it back, Offaly turned it back over again, and I suppose no one, as you said, could just make it stick, and Offaly couldn't get a clear shot on the goal.
Couldn't get a clear shot in the goal there. Attention being received by Sarah Harding for a moment, so that's just the hold up and play. The referee list MC just going in to have a chat with our umpires to make sure that nothing too untoward went on in this game. Just over 7 minutes to half time. Our notes are blown around here in the commentary box in Cappamore, but we will restart the action with a Limerick puck out and Sarah Harding back in position. She scored 1-1 against Down in the National League this year, so is a very, very dangerous player if given the right opportunity. Of course, Orla Phelan, who took that wide beforehand, as she captained Offaly to an underage Shield title this year. That was in minor back in April or May. So Offaly getting success there with a lot of their young players out in the field. The playing Claire Keating restarts the action, but not getting the distance that time. Did find Sophie O'Callaghan, but did Sophie hold on to the ball? No, she didn't. Bray Teagan has it, sent it down in towards the attack. The goalkeeper for Limerick saying, putting the hand out saying, I have this covered. The ball goes out over the line and wide, and of course you don't have to wait for a second whistle now. If the ball goes wide, you can restart the action, and Claire Keating got more purchase on the ball on that occasion. But Offaly again winning the break. Orla Phelan gives the pass off for Roisin Egan. She goes to the ground, loses the balance, the ball doesn't travel. Limerick getting the bodies back in the way there, and good work by Mairead Ryan, who wins it for Limerick, plays it along the ground well to Caoimhe Costello. Caoimhe Costello into the space inside now. An opportunity here for Caoimhe Lyons. Caoimhe Lyons, as she can get the move going here and try and get away from Christine Cleary. An opportunity for Limerick. Passes all the attempted pass off in the direction of Caroline Brennan. Didn't materialise. The danger not cleared yet, but Offaly do have the ball and have to make sure they find their players as Limerick press the ball down, and Limerick could show that they're able to press the opposing defence as well as Offaly. Sarah O'Brien coming inside there. Will she go herself? Might go herself. Goes for the shot. The angle wasn't there. The ball hasn't gone dead, and it looks like the umpire signalled the wide or a 45. I'm not too sure.
The umpire on the left certainly signalled a 45. I'm not sure the one on the right signalled anything just yet, but it does look, Mike Ryan is going out to mark the 45 for a 45, but Offaly lucky to escape that one. The build-up play, the quick ball into Caoimhe Lyons was really, really good. Her final pass just a little bit too high for the player coming off her shoulder, and the chances averted. But again, Offaly just failed to clear their lines, and persistent pressure from Limerick turned them over and gave them that second opportunity, and eventually the chance at a 45.
We've played 25 minutes in the first half here. It's all square, 3 points apiece. Limerick haven't led in the match yet, so this is an opportunity for Caoimhe Costello to change that statistic as she lines herself up, looks at the angle, trying to judge the wind as well. We can see clear skies behind that goal. Hopefully they come visit us in the second half, but Caoimhe Costello's only focused on the two white sticks in front of her and putting this ball between them. It's going to be very, very close. It looks like it's gone over the bar. It has gone over the bar. Limerick are in front, 4 points to 3.
Yeah, and look, I think you'd be very happy from a Limerick point of view to be coming into half time and to be in front, given that you've played against that particularly strong breeze. You know, they've had probably the better of the goal chances in this first half, and they certainly have made little of that breeze.
Third score of the game for Caoimhe Costello. Limerick 4 points, Offaly 3. The ball down inside the Limerick 65 metre line again, and both teams just battling again for possession there. Who'll take the breaking ball out? Sarah Harding there fighting for possession, but it's won by Limerick and won by Caoimhe Costello, who's coming out getting more involved in the battle for possession in the middle of the field. And we move to another scrum just in the Offaly half of the field, but Offaly win the ball back again through Orla Phelan, very busy in the game, goes to ground, goes out over the line. Going to be a Limerick sideline cut.
Yeah, and you'd have to say Limerick probably the little bit more physical of the two teams in this first half. You know, they've used a bit of power and time again to turn over Offaly physically, and I suppose Offaly bringing that ball into contention, into battle with Limerick, and they're coming out the worst side of those battles a lot of the time. So playing with that breeze, as I said, probably better off to try and let the ball do some of the work.
Caoimhe Costello getting ready to take this, gets underneath the ball, sending it down the direction of Caoimhe Lyons. Not to be again, it's Orla Phelan cutting it out for Offaly, sending it down the field, but only as far as Sophie O'Callaghan, who gives it to Alva Larkin. Alva Larkin steps out over the line. It's going to be a sideline cut to Offaly territory, so important in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nip and tuck up and down, you know, as quick as they can. And, you know, when both sets of teams get the ball into that full forward line, both of them look threatening inside, but I suppose it's just those inches to be won around the middle of the field, and that's really where Limerick are coming out on top at the moment.
Both teams have 2 games remaining in the group stages, Group 2 of the All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship before their fate is decided. Limerick will be at home against Down next week. Will Offaly take on Kilkenny? The final round for both teams could be very, very important. Limerick against Antrim and Offaly against Down. Again, another sideline cut, the far side of the field. Offaly gaining a few more yards, about 60 yards out now instead of 65. 2.5 minutes to half time. They'll definitely want to get themselves back in level par. We got 4 added minutes, I think, to go to the break. We're being told by the official Mike Ryan in front of us here, but ball continues on. So Siobhan Flannery, I'm not too sure if that was a signal of 4 added minutes. Either way, Offaly have an opportunity. This is Sarah Walsh with the shot. Sarah Walsh puts the ball over the bar. Good work from Siobhan Flannery in the move for all.
Yeah, that was super build-up play from Offaly. You know, really well taken by Sarah Harding from the line ball initially. A super ball in that Claire Keating did really, really well with, but Siobhan Flannery fastest to the break there and popped the little pass back out, and a super score from Sarah Walsh from the middle of the field.
So we've 2 minutes to half time. We'll be given an impression we'll have 4 minutes on top of that. There was a few stoppages earlier on in the game. Offaly need to get a flurry of scores, you would feel, before the break, but they're not going to get it if they leave the ball hanging for these Limerick players that have proven they can deal with the high ball, even if they've made it difficult for themselves at times, like Alva Larkin has done there. But good work from Mairead Tehan. Can she win the ball back? It is a great opportunity for Mairead Tehan if she can get control of the ball. Plays it along the ground. The pass for Sarah Harding. Sarah Harding with a shot at the post, and Sarah Harding puts the ball over the bar. A very impressive score for Offaly. 2 impressive scores for Offaly. It's 5 points to 4.
Yeah, and it's taken them maybe until the 26th or 7th minute to find that little bit of a flow. The last 2 scores have been particularly good ones, and super work there from Mairead Tehan to turn over Limerick after they initially intercepted that crossfield ball.
Mentioned the good footwork there from Mairead Tehan. Of course, the Offaly footballers have a big match against Wicklow. That takes place tomorrow with the folks at the Camogie here at the moment and looking for a few more scores. Faye Mulrooney loses out to Alva Larkin. Alva Larkin sends the ball across in the direction of Caroline Brennan. Caroline Brennan up against Orla Phelan, and Orla Phelan refusing to give in that ball, and has help now from Mairead Tehan, who's also come out to help out. Rebecca DeLee trying to get involved as well. She goes to battle with Aisling Brannan. Orla Phelan along the ground, out the far side of the field towards Louise Mannion. Louise Mannion has a player to the left calling for the ball, but she can't see her. Goes in the run herself, turns to the left trying to avoid Sophie O'Callaghan, gives the pass off inside, but Sophie O'Callaghan getting in the way for Limerick and has done well to overturn the possession. Has she cleanly done it? Not just yet, but Marion Quaid is there for Limerick too and pulls the ball into space, looks around for options, probably picked the wrong one as Sarah Harding comes in and fights for the ball, sends it down and towards the attack with Siobhan Flannery. This is a big opportunity for Offaly in the game. Siobhan Flannery with the shot in the acute angle. It was obtuse enough though. She puts the ball over the bar. Another score for Offaly. They're finishing the half strongly, 6-4.
Absolutely, and look, that's I suppose what will disappoint Susan Erna maybe a little bit at half time is that she didn't see more of that in that first half, but that's 3 super scores on the run now for Offaly, and you know they've turned over Limerick time and time again for them, and super score there from Siobhan Flannery.
30 minutes have been played in the first half, and we think we've 4 minutes of added time to play. Offaly 6 points, Limerick 4, and Offaly doing what they need to do before half time, and as Elaine said, probably should have been doing it sooner. Sarah Guinan sends it down and towards the attack as well, trying to find Faye Mulrooney, but this time it'll be Teresa Dorr that wins the ball for Limerick, gets it up past the 45-metre line. Alva Larkin comes in to help out, but Mairead Ryan moves the ball a bit further, but again Mairead Tehan winning the ball, since gives the pass inside. Offaly have certainly looked painful to be in the bonnet now as Sarah Walsh sends it in towards the attack, looking for Siobhan Flannery again, has Faye Mulrooney there for support, but Limerick defended very, very hard. The ball, well, didn't stay in play, goes out over the line, and good defending from Limerick. It's going to be a sideline cut for them.
Yeah, because Sarah Walsh had given that ball initially into Siobhan Flannery. She'd continued her run in, and if Siobhan had been able to win it cleanly, Sarah Walsh certainly had gone inside and would have had a chance at the goal, but as it was, the ball was just a little bit slowed up, and I suppose Limerick got the chance to get the numbers back, and the sideline just came a little bit too close.
Mairead Ryan will take this between her own 20 and 45-metre line. Again, looking for players in free position, plays it along the ground, hoping to find Niamh Ryan. Well, the referee blows the half-time whistle, so we're not having 4 minutes of added time that we were indicated there. Though we did get that 2.5 minutes out, so it was probably 4 minutes from that stage, so apologies for any confusion. 3 scores for Offaly gives them a 2-point advantage. Elaine Aylward, your overall thoughts in the first half?
Yeah, look, as I said, Offaly playing with that really strong breeze, but it probably took them the 20-25 minutes to get into the full flow of the way they wanted to play, and I suppose that pulled Limerick out of shape a little bit, where their half-forward line had been getting such gains for the initial 20 minutes. I suppose they found themselves dragged back down the field and into a real battle with Offaly around the middle of the field, and where Limerick had won that battle for much of the first half, Offaly gradually started to win it and got some good ball in and combined for 3 super scores there coming towards half time. So look, I think a happier Offaly dressing room than it was looking for coming up towards half time. 2 points is still not a huge lead given the breeze that's there, and look, Limerick have shown that they're very well able to work the ball through the lines as well as to go direct, so a huge task I think for Offaly in the second half, but they've certainly given themselves a shot in the arm with those last 3 points just before half time.
It's certainly all to play for. Remember, this is pretty much the winner needs to have any chance of staying in the championship. These teams need to win this game. The loser will most certainly be facing a relegation battle, but 3 late scores for Offaly before the break have given them an advantage. We'll be back in about 10 minutes time with live coverage in the second half here in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. The half-time score from Camogie, it's Offaly 6 points, Limerick 4.
Invincible. Invincible.
back here to Camogie GA as we get ready for the second half of the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. It's Limerick against Offaly. Offaly in front by 2 points at half-time, 6 points to 4, but it's Limerick who have the win in the second half. I'm Darren Kelly, joined by Elaine Aylward. And Elaine, we're just talking off air ourselves. Look, this is the most important 30 minutes of the year for both counties coming up.
Absolutely. Look, as we said beforehand, it's their championship ambitions really. It's probably to stay out of a relegation dogfight, which no team wants to be in. And to credit to both teams, that first 30 minutes they certainly went at it. You know, there was some tough encounters, some physical challenges all over the field, and you know, Offaly, with the benefit of the breeze, probably didn't make full benefit of it on that last 5 minutes just before half time, but when they did, they racked off 3 lovely points. And look, they went in a 2-point lead up, which looked unlikely coming up to half time. I felt Limerick had probably done a lot of the hurling in that first half, but you know, still found themselves the 2 points down. They do look the more physical team out there. They probably had the most chances in that first half, but look, you can't back against Offaly in a fight like this when it's do or die. So a huge 30 minutes ahead for both sides.
And it's the work rate from Offaly that Offaly will need, just taking their side of things as well. We talk about Limerick in the moment. They'll need to start off this second half even against the wind as they finish the first.
Absolutely. Look, and I suppose, as I said beforehand, that's probably the most disappointing thing for Susan Erna going in at half time, is that it took them 25 minutes to find their feet, and probably wasted the use of the breeze in that first 20 minutes when they just couldn't trouble that Limerick scoreboard. But they did finish it really, really strongly, and I suppose that's the message they'll have carried into the dressing room at half time.
Well, Offaly are launching the first attack in the second half. We'll talk about the Limerick angle in a moment, as in towards the inside line, Faye Mulrooney just doesn't get the touch in the ball that she wanted, and it'll go out in the direction of Teresa Dorr, the corner back for Limerick, gives it to the goalkeeper Claire Keating, and she launches it out the field of play. No changes in either side that we're aware of at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that as the second half continues, and we just told on the Limerick side that is the case, as Rebecca DeLee sends the ball inside towards the Offaly inside, or the Limerick inside line, but Sarah Guinan gets a touch for the faithful county and brings it out towards the left flank as well in the direction of Christine Cleary, and she launches it down the other end of play. The breeze is strong here, it favours Limerick. This is an opportunity for Sarah Hardy. She's done well with her shooting so far. The umpire just decks underneath the slayer, but that ball goes to the left and wide, first wide of the second half.
Yeah, and Offaly already looking to go probably a little bit more direct than they did for a long time in that first half, even against the breeze, and you know, a good scoring opportunity there, and they just didn't take it.
Limerick just haven't really got into the game so far. They'll be disappointed how they finished the half, but they showed a lot of their mettle in the early stages of what they can do in this game, and if they can get a few scores to match that, they'll certainly fancy their chances, as will Offaly. As Elaine mentioned, Offaly will be up for the battle the whole way through, and we're looking forward to watching the next 29 plus minutes of this game. Offaly 6 points, Limerick 4. The ball is thrown in as Christine Cleary tries to get a foot on the sliotar, but Limerick getting in the middle of that as well, and it comes out towards the 65-metre line, won back by the Munster side, and Sophie O'Callaghan in possession takes the challenge, sends it into her space, and Limerick just moving towards the 45-metre line, but again Offaly getting the body in the way. Both half-backs have impressed in this game, Elaine.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and often it's like the case there, just that last little pass maybe out of the tackle that's leaving both sides down and just stopping them building a real head of steam and getting that bit of forward momentum. But Sophie O'Callaghan has been immense in that Limerick half-back line, and again driving forward again on that occasion.
Offaly have the free. It's taken by Aisling Brennan. The sun is here in Cappamore. Great to have it, and down towards the other end of the field. But Siobhan Flannery doesn't get control of the ball at the moment, and Sophie O'Callaghan comes in to get involved and does enough to leave in front of teammate, and the teammate is Miriam Creamer. And Miriam Creamer is on the run here now for Limerick, moving down the left. It opens up a bit of space there, trying to find a teammate who only finds an Offaly stick. Quiva Costello might be there for the mix, but Offaly have the possession again. They have the ball, and Aisling Brennan drives it down the field. Down the other end, it's end-to-end stuff at the moment, but no scores so far in the second half. Faye Mulrooney with the ball for Offaly, sending it across the field. Faye Mulrooney was in towards the inside line. Mairead Teahan looks like she's pushed forward for the second half. Limerick win the ball again, and Sophie O'Callaghan, the central cog in their defence, wins the ball, takes the push, wins the free, and Limerick get a reprieve.
Yeah, and you know, that was good build-up play from Offaly, a super ball across from Faye Mulrooney, and thought looked like Mairead Teahan might get in on the break of it to get a shot at the goal, but Limerick again very composed in that full back line and worked it out, held their lines and worked the ball out through Sophie O'Callaghan again.
Sophie O'Callaghan, a vital player for Limerick the last couple of years. I mentioned earlier on how she was playing in the attack last year. Got 2 points against Dublin in the vital Division 1 game in 2020. They kept Limerick in the top flight. They will ply their trade in Division 2 next year. What's looking a very, very strong Division 2 when you include the likes of Waterford and Antrim and many of the second teams from the Galway, Corks and Kilkenny's involved in that as well. Every team wants to be in Division 1, and Offaly are holding their position in the top 9 at the moment. This is Claire Keating, the Limerick goalkeeper, goalkeeper, going to take this free for Limerick to restart the action, looking for their first score in the second half. A long drive down from the goalkeeper from the Camogie club, and this breaks kindly here for Caoimhe Costello. She'll try and turn on the left hand side, sends it in towards the goal. Not to be, Offaly needs to be careful as Caoimhe lines a chance, a shot, a save from Eleanor Clendenin. An excellent save from the Offaly goalkeeper. The referee spots a foul. Going to be a free out, the best goal chance of the match.
Absolutely, and that build up had everything. You know, the long ball in, super take on the edge of the square from Caoimhe, couldn't get the shot away. When it did eventually come, Eleanor Clendenin, as you said, stood really, really tall, got a super save on it and won her free. But huge composure from her in the Offaly goal.
And a very important one. She's one of the experienced heads of this Offaly team. We mentioned about some of the players that they've lost over the last year, and Eleanor Clendenin is a leader for them, and just practice what she preached there with a vital save, because even this early in the second half, if Limerick had gotten a goal and got their noses in front, they would really fancy their chances. But Offaly have the save, they have the free, and they maintain their lead, and Eleanor Clendenin is okay. Player with the Kennedy club leaves the free off for a teammate, and Offaly will restart the action. But trying to buy a few yards there that are not being allowed by the Kilkenny official.
Yeah, you could try and buy a few and then you're just going to try and rob 10, and I think that's exactly what Aisling Brennan was doing on that occasion, and Liz Dempsey, certainly with her experience, not falling for that particular one.
Aisling Brennan with the free out towards the middle of the park. You can see the ball just holding up there, not passing past the 65-metre line into space as Sarah Walsh tries to get in there for Offaly up against Caroline Brennan. Sarah Walsh gets it down in the direction of Siobhan Flannery. Siobhan Flannery with the ball gets away from two Limerick defenders, gives the pass over Christine Cleary. Christine Cleary will send it towards the goals, and a shot. It might be a good shot. It is a good shot. It goes over the bar. First score of the second half. Christine Cleary makes it 7 points to 4.
And it's a super point from distance, you know, against that breeze. But again, super build-up play from Siobhan Flannery. Showed great hands inside. You know, she's out in front all day there. She's showing all day, and you know, probably maybe not the pace she would have had a couple of years ago, but happy to bring other players in around. And it was a super ball back out to Christine Cleary on that occasion, and a super strike from her.
It looks like an Offaly player just in a bit of distress at the moment, so we're going to have a hold up and play. I'm not too sure. Was Liz Dempsey signaling about the injury, but it looks like Offaly will be forced into making the change here, Elaine.
Yeah, I think maybe just signalled for a blood substitution. I'm not sure if there's a cut or something there, if she just wants to get a bit of temporary attention maybe, but certainly Offaly a player down at the moment, and looking like it's a blood substitution, I think. It
actually is their midfielder Sarah Walsh who's involved in that move as well, so she's going off briefly. Jane Lowry coming on the field of play for Offaly. She's come off the bench in their previous two games so far against Antrim and against Galway, and she's on the field temporarily in this game. But this is Caoimhe Costello for Limerick on the move there, just lost control of the ball. It might work out for Niamh Ryan though. Niamh Ryan tries to give it back to Caoimhe Costello. Good first touch from her, but you can see the Offaly players in hunting and packs to try and stop the ball, and they win it back through Christine Cleary. Scored a point a few moments ago, now back in the full back line and gets it out towards the 45. Sophie O'Callaghan in possession, moving along the 45-metre line, trying to move in towards the attack, gives the pass in the direction of Rebecca DeLee, over hits it. Looks like Orla Phelan is the player that wins the ball for Offaly. Needs a bit of support there as Limerick come in now, and they're fighting to win the ball back, and they've won the ball back through Rebecca DeLee. Bex, they call her in Limerick. She moves the ball inside the 45-metre line, has Niamh Ryan in for support, but it's Murray Tehan back doing her defensive duties, who wins the ball for Offaly. Down the other end of the field for Siobhan Flannery. Siobhan Flannery, this will be a big score for Offaly if it goes over the bar. Siobhan Flannery with the shot, and it tails to the right and wide. That was setting her up, but just like that, two strikes in the ball, and all of a sudden Offaly nearly got a score.
Yeah, and it did. It hung for ages there. It looked like it might be going to go the distance and dip over, but it just swung out to the right at the last second. Called by the caught in with the wind there, but as you said, a great turn of play from Offaly, right from defence at their own, right from their own end, right back up to the shot away from Siobhan Flannery. And I suppose against the breeze, that's what they've done. They've isolated her on the edge of the square, and she's playing off a lot of nice ball to those that are coming in from their half forward line.
Aisling Brennan was picking at an injury there and receiving some attention at the moment. She was getting help as well from her teammate Grace Tehan. Grace was joint captain of Offaly back in 2020, but Aisling Brennan is okay. A few players feeling the effects of a physical game, Elaine, as you said, in this match. Not a dirty game, but a real competitive contest as well, but it takes its toll, especially in breezy conditions.
It does, and especially considering, you know, I know the teams would have had a week off last weekend, but they have been on the road with championship for the 2 weekends previous to that, and it's a gruelling schedule for them, I suppose. And as you you said, a really, really physical encounter here today as well.
Limerick are on the move again, looking for their first score in the second half. This is Caoimhe Costello. Caoimhe Costello sending in towards the goal, and as it come off the upright again, the upright certainly in both goals getting its work in this game. Sarah Harding has the ball for Offaly, and she sends it out the field. 8.5 minutes gone in the second half here. It's Offaly 7 points, it's Limerick 4, and the ball just bouncing around Cappamore like a ping pong, and both teams just struggling to control it here. The battle is on the 65-metre line, and it's going to be another throw-in ball between the two teams. All of these eagerly contested, and I can see that Sarah Walsh wants to get back on the field of play and just waiting for the referee, so she'll have to wait until the next break in play, as the Liz Dempsey didn't see that. Play continues on. Too many steps, says the referee, so it's going to be a free for Limerick. And again, we're watching Sarah Walsh here. Can she come back on the field of play? She is back on the field of play. No doubt Jane Lowry will go off, and now a chance for Caoimhe Costello to get Limerick's first score in the second half.
Yeah, and a first chance, I suppose, from that distance now with the breeze behind her. She was very accurate with them in the first half, so as I said, you should expect her to have the distance on this one if she can judge the win correctly.
You just get the feeling as we look at the clock, 9.5 minutes gone in the second half, that this is a vital score. It is only one puck of the ball, so we don't want to overstate it, but Limerick could do one. They are getting a substitute ready in Limerick too. Michelle Curtin will be on the field not too long, but this is Caoimhe Costello with the free for Limerick, a score that Limerick need, and it's gone over the bar. It's taken 10 minutes in the second half to come. Caoimhe Costello gets the point, and Michelle Curtin is coming on the field.
Yeah, and look, it's a kind of a bit of a blow to Offaly. I suppose they've done a lot of that hurling now for the first couple of minutes of that second half, and yet it's Limerick that get that score on the board at the end of all that passage of play. So a big score from them, and introducing now, as you said, Michelle Curtin, a bit of fresh legs maybe into that Limerick half forward line and midfield area.
Michelle Curtin plays her Camogie with Temple Glantine. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, and it looks like it's going to be Caroline Brennan that's going off the field to play for them. So 20 for 10 if you're keeping notes at home. We hope you're enjoying our coverage here on the Camogie Association YouTube channel, brought to you in association with Entray and Offaly and Limerick, battling for championship survival or championship ambition, whatever way you want to look at it. Sophie O'Callaghan with the pass across in the direction of Sarah O'Brien. She wears number 15. She sends it out towards the right. This is an opportunity for Limerick and Mairead Ryan with a shot for them to bring it back to a 1 point ball game. She puts the ball over the bar. A sweeping move for Limerick. They haven't done that much in a while, but it goes over the bar. 7 points to 6.
Yeah, and that's kind of more the play, I suppose, that'll impress John Ellis and his management team. Good build-up play from Limerick, you know, and they're just starting to get a foothold around the middle of the field now, and you feel that they could push on from here.
Just seeing on the line there, the Offaly manager Susan Erner having words with the lines person this side of the field. Wasn't happy with something. Eleanor Clendenin will restart the action and send it out towards the 65-metre line. Offaly 7 points, Limerick 6, and another battle for possession. McKeely contested. Jane Lowry looks like she's going to be coming on the field of play shortly in a more permanent role than her cameo just a few moments ago. But will Offaly still be in front, because Limerick are getting a few breaks now? They have won a free, and a chance for Caoimhe Costello to level the teams again, which will be the 5th time this goes over the bar. Jane Lowry is on the field of play. Caoimhe Costello with a free.
Yeah, another chance, I suppose, and Offaly feel a little bit aggrieved. It's two contentious enough frees that they've given away there, you know, one for overcarrying, and on that occasion another handy enough free. So given a chance for Caoimhe Costello and for Limerick just to claw back that lead and get back on level terms.
Faye Mulrooney is the player that's coming off for Offaly. Caoimhe Costello taking her time, lining up the shot again. She knows the importance of this. The first score got Limerick back moving again. This will be the third, second from her if it goes over the bar. The umpires like it. It's gone over the bar. Limerick are back in level terms. 12 minutes in the second half at 7-all.
Yeah, and as I said, they're back level on the scoreboard now at the moment, and they're just putting that little bit of pressure, trying to turn the screw. So it's up to Offaly now to see if they can come up with a response.
Offaly need the next score, you would feel, and Aisling Brennan tries to drive them down the field, but runs into the other number 6, Sophie O'Callaghan. She gives the ball to Alva Larkin. Alva Larkin to Mairead Ryan, blocked down by Roisin Egan, who wants to get more involved. Mairead Tehan is there as well, and she has the ball for Offaly. Hand passes it into space, hoping that Sarah Walsh will get in the end of this for Offaly, but not to be fully. There's a few shoulders going in there. Great to see the shoulders be let off as well, it has to be said, but the battle is down in the 20-metre line as Offaly are gaining the ground. Can they gain the ball? And the Limerick fullbacks, led by Teresa Dorr, just getting in the way, not making it easy for the visitors to find a way inside. And Offaly though still moving the ball, whether it's just through pure will as much as anything else. They got very, very close, but Limerick have the ball back back. Sophie O'Callaghan with the pass over Niamh Ryan. Niamh Ryan, all of a sudden space opens up, but it's won back there by Grace Tehan for Offaly, but two Limerick players in getting involved. The second was Caoimhe Costello. The first was Michelle Curtin, but Caoimhe Costello's on the run and gives the pass inside. Now this is Rebecca DeLee. Rebecca DeLee with the ball for Limerick there, just couldn't control it. Two Offaly defenders were in the way. All the feeling was coming in from behind. But again, Rebecca DeLee might have another go at this. There's players to the left, and again the Offaly defence get in the way and get to touch him. Just wondering was it Aisling Feeney that got it on that occasion for Offaly. Either way, Limerick are going to have a third crack at this. And again moving inside, and looks like Caoimhe Lyons went to ground. A foul committed. Well, for pure determination from Limerick there to create a scoring opportunity, you have to give it to them, but great defending from Offaly.
Yeah, determination on both sides. You know, it looked like time and time again Limerick were going to get away. Rebecca DeLee looked to have the shot taken twice, then Caoimhe looked to have it taken a third time, and time again it was stolen out of their hands. But you know, for all their persistence, for all their forward momentum, they've won themselves a penalty now.
So it actually is a penalty. I'd seen the referee signal in the free. I knew it was close enough, but I hadn't seen the indication for a penalty. So this is a penalty for Limerick, and the biggest moment of the game so far on 14 minutes. It's going to be Caoimhe Costello against Eleanor Clendenin. The sides are all square here in Cappamore. This is the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. Can Limerick go 3 points in front of the game, or can Eleanor Clendenin pull off another save? Here we go as Caoimhe Costello gets ready for the shot for Limerick. The penalty for Limerick. Hits it low with a shot. A save from Eleanor Clendenin. A player nearly came in for the rebound, misses the ball, and it's Grace Tehan who gets it away for Offaly.
And if you're looking for a turning point in the game, that could possibly be it. You know, Limerick had done a lot of the hurling, got their opportunity. The Offaly defence had stood really stern, as did Eleanor Clendenin there in the goal. Probably wasn't the best taken penalty from Caoimhe Costello. It was at a nice height to her strong side, but still stood tall to it. Wasn't in quick enough on the rebound, and Offaly came away with it.
Two big stops from Eleanor Clendenin in this game. Caoimhe Costello will be disappointed with that, and it remains 7 points apiece. This is a hold up and play late. One thing we've talked about, the importance for both teams to win this match. How good is a draw for either?
Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone will come here looking for a draw today. And look, it's been nip and tuck the whole way, and look the way the championship has gone. If you look at the other group, draws are flavour of the month at the moment. So look, it's so hard to separate them at the moment. You feel a goal would obviously be a massive score in it, and Limerick just failing to take that opportunity there. So look, the longer it goes on, the longer each team can be there in the home straight. You feel it's going to be very hard to separate them.
Yes, there's been 3 draws so far in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. All of them coming in Group 1. Those teams off next week. Of course, there's 3 big matches in that group next weekend, and we'll be live at one of them. There's Tipperary against Wexford, there's Waterford against Cork, and there's Clare against Dublin. That group is hotting up, but certainly the battle for one of the quarter-final spots in this group is hotting up as this game continues, and Limerick and Offaly want to keep themselves in the conversation. We are inside the final quarter of this game. Just looking around to see if Offaly are going to make another change in this game. Don't see the sub out there at the moment, but we'll find out about that in a bit. Limerick 7 points, Offaly 7 points, and the battle continues, and again a decision that goes Limerick's way, and a chance for them to get their noses in front. They have only led one occasion in 26 minutes when Caoimhe Costello put over a 45, but Offaly hit back with 3 scores, and now this will be a big opportunity for Caoimhe Costello to put Limerick in front. The breeze is with them, swirling a bit more now, I have to be said, compared to what it was like in the first half, but still in favour of the girls in green on the field of play, as we just look around there to see any hold-ups or anybody receiving attention, and not to be at the moment. So all eyes are on Caoimhe Costello here. Another big free for her. She's nailed 2 of them so far in the second half. Can she get a third? Caoimhe Costello for Limerick takes the free about 50 yards out. It's going to be close, and it goes over the bar. Limerick are gone in front. 17 minutes gone in the second half, 8 points to 7.
Yeah, and the home crowd have certainly come to life there. I think did the linesman on the far side maybe see an instant there with Caoimhe Costello?
I think there was a bit of afters between 2 players there. Whether it was serious or not, time will tell, but the linesman Mike Ryan has definitely come out and has called over the attention of the match referee, and you can hear the supporters there. So I'm not too sure now the Offaly supporters and Limerick supporters, but they certainly something they weren't happy with, and a discussion is taking place.
Yeah, and the Offaly players quick out to Siobhan Flannery, I think, to tell her to go back in towards the edge of the square. So she was certainly the player closest to Caoimhe Costello there. So whatever happened after that free, I followed the flight of the ball, but certainly, as you said, the supporters in the stand at the far side saw something.
Well, we'll see now if Liz Dempsey calls anyone over at the moment, or even calls the 2 players over. She is walking in the direction of Siobhan Flannery, so it looks like... No, was she having a chat with Sarah Harding there? But either way, she went to have a quick word with someone. A yellow card has been handed out.
Yeah, and it is Sarah Harding, I think, on the far wing there. Whatever happened after that free, as I said, I followed the flight of the ball, but obviously Mike Ryan spotted something on the far sideline. He was quick into Liz Dempsey, and Liz was quick with the yellow card.
Well, we didn't see the incident ourselves in the commentary box here, so we're not too sure exactly if the right person was booked or not, but either way it's easily a yellow card. It's a yellow card for Sarah Harding, and she goes into the book. The third yellow card for Offaly in this game. They're 1 point behind Limerick, 8 points to 7. Plenty of drama to add to the occasion here as well, as both these two teams push themselves towards the closing straight and try and keep their championship alive. We can see on the Offaly bench that Caitlin Kennedy from Drumcullen will be coming on the field to play shortly, but this is an Offaly free here, and a shot for Aisling Brennan going for the post. This looks good. It's gone over the bar. We're all square again on 19 minutes, 8 points apiece.
Yeah, and you mentioned a draw a few minutes ago there, and when you have a response like that from Offaly to the last Limerick score, you know, it's quite possible. But super score from Aisling Brennan. Shot one massive one in the first half as well. Just fell a little bit short on the distance with the second one, but made no mistake against the breeze, and that one was going over the bar from the minute it left her hurl.
I used to get the feeling if we've any watchers from Antrim at this game at the moment, they'll be hoping for the draw more than anybody from Limerick and Offaly. But neither of these two teams want to lose this match. 8 points apiece in the game as Offaly are getting ready to make their substitution. Caitlin Kennedy having a chat with her manager Susan Erner, so that change should happen very shortly. Offaly with the sideline cut taken by Aisling Brennan, gets well underneath the ball, nearly got the hands of Roisin Egan right in front of us here in the commentary box, but the white boots and the yellow helmet is Sophie O'Callaghan right in the middle of it. Up against Sarah Wall. She wears number 8 for Offaly, but the number 8 for Limerick, Niamh Bryan, is there, and the ball has managed to stay in play. Roisin Egan with possession there, trying to get in the move. The referee says that she charged into the player, so it's going to be a free for Limerick, but the Offaly player is down injured.
Yeah, may not have won the free, but certainly came out the worst of that tackle. Roisin Egan looks to be holding her shoulder there, and you know, Sophie O'Callaghan is no shrinking violet, stood up big to that challenge, and I think Roisin Egan felt the full effects of it.
Yeah, it's a rule we've often discussed in our commentaries there, and you know exactly the way it goes to the defending player unless it's clear that the foul is the other way. The referee is now having a chat with Siobhan Flannery. I'm not too sure if something was said there, but either way there is a yellow card for Siobhan Flannery, and that's 4 in the book for Offaly.
Yeah, I think they've had a couple of warm-up chats maybe throughout the first half and into the second half, so I think it was coming at some stage to Siobhan Flannery, and that was probably the most innocuous of them all.
Well, the referee's now having a chat with Roisin Egan as well. I wonder, is this going to be another one as well? And certainly Offaly are not going to be happy how this is panning out, Elaine. That's 5 yellow cards. Roisin Egan also.
Yeah, certainly another yellow card for her there, and as I said, an innocuous enough challenge. I think she just put the head down, and you know, the tackle came straight onto her, but I'm not sure there was much she could do to avoid the tackle of Sophie O'Callaghan, but as you said, picked up a yellow card for her troubles. We'll
keep an eye on the action on the field of play as Claire Keating sends the ball in towards the attack as well. Offaly need to defend this very carefully. Sarah Walsh is back there as well and wins the free in the process, just as Limerick were queuing up to get the players going, and there's just so much going on here at the moment. The referee Liz Dempsey is coming out to the line to have a word with the lines person as well. Like, we knew this was going to be tense battle as well, and she's having a chat with the Offaly manager Susan Erner, so plenty of subplots along with the main plot, Elaine.
Yeah, there was a couple of small chats with Siobhan Flannery throughout the first half. I think both linesmen have had a couple of chats with Susan Erner on the sideline here as well, so obviously, as you said, tension's getting high now, a lot at stake here for both sides, and you know, nobody knows that more so I suppose than Susan Erner on the sideline.
Have I said it already? The most important 10 minutes of the year for both Limerick and Offaly coming up. It's 8 points apiece here. Neither giving an inch. Both teams throwing everything they can into this, and the decision here has gone Limerick's way, and they're going to have a free on their own 65-metre line. And will Claire Keating come out to take this, you wonder? I know she's staying back inside, and I'm just looking, there is this Rebecca DeLee actually coming out to take this free for Limerick. Indeed, it is Rebecca DeLee. She has scored 1 point in the championship so far. Now, like we said about Aisling Brennan in the first half, would she have a go at this? If she was to put this over that bar, this would be a massive lift when it's high, but it looks like it's tailing to the right and wide. The umpire happy enough to wave. I think that's the first wide for Limerick in the second half, but either way it stays all square.
Yeah, and probably the wrong choice. You know, Rebecca DeLee came a long way to take it, and you know, it was probably never going to be accurate. She needed to put all her power behind him, could possibly have left it for Claire Keating and try and put it into the danger area inside.
Long puck out there by Eleanor Clendenin restarts the action, well batted down by Alva Larkin. Limerick looking for that score or two that could well put them in pole position. Caoimhe Lyons is a player you like to have in the ball when you're looking for something like that. She has the ball as well. She goes on the move, turns on her right, good block down there by Offaly. I think it was Orla Phelan as well, though Sarah Guinan was in the middle of all that too. And Offaly have overturned possession. Sarah Harding back working hard in defence as well as attack, lays the ball off, and now they move it up towards the 65-metre line. This is an opportunity for Offaly to hit back in this game as well, in the middle of the field. Offaly drive the ball ball down the other end of the field, and Limerick needs to be careful. I thought for a moment there that the ball was in the hands of Louise Mannion, but not to be, and it's won by Limerick, and they'll bring the ball out the field again through their number 2 is Teresa Dorr. Teresa Dorr is trying to find Niamh Ryan, gets away from her, but the ball works its way down towards the Limerick attack, and the Limerick full forward is Lorraine McCarthy. Lorraine McCarthy just trying to get a bit of space, surrounded by 2 Offaly defenders, gives the pass over Caoimhe Costello. Big chance here for Caoimhe on the left. Caoimhe Costello with a shot for Limerick to put them back into the lead, and Caoimhe Costello puts the ball over the bar. 7 minutes to go. An excellent score from Limerick, 9 points to 8.
Yeah, her 7th score, her first from playing. What a score it was when it did come. Lorraine McCarthy did really, really well inside. Won it. The ball had travelled a long distance into her, but it saw Costello coming off her shoulder, spun it out to her, and a super score from her.
Limerick 9 points, Offaly 8, and Offaly now need to respond as we have a hold up and play down the far side of the field. I think it might be Mairead Ryan that just was down for a moment, and the decision, I think, decision's going Offaly's way with the sideline cut over free, and coming out to take this looks like Orla Gorman. So Orla Gorman with the ball the far side of the field. Offaly attacking the goal to the right against the wind. The clock continues to tick away. It's just over 6 minutes to go, but the Limerick player is in distress, and I think it is Mairead Ryan from my view as well. Mairead Ryan was a captain at third level for Mary I as well. Of course, third level competition, very, very important for players all over the country, and many Limerick and Offaly players to the front of that. Mary I having great success as well over the years too. It looks like she's okay and good to continue. She'll get herself back in position, and Orla Gorman will restart the action for Offaly as they look for the score to get themselves back on level terms in this match. It is a sideline cut taken by Orla Gorman, gains a few yards as well. Limerick throwing themselves in there again, the ball bouncing around the place, but it works out for Offaly in this occasion, and now Offaly are on the move again on the 45-metre line. This is excellent play. Jane Lowry lays the ball off, and Offaly are on the move here. Can they get a big score in this match and turn this game in the head? A snapshot there, Claire Keating alert to it. Offaly feel they agreed about something, and 18 was the player that took the shot, but we might have another go here for Offaly. The Limerick defenders working hard now to keep the Offaly side out. The shot comes for them, the ball has gone over the bar, the score comes for Offaly, and we'll identify the score in a moment. We're back all square, 9 points apiece.
Yeah, I think it was Roisin Egan finally with the finish there, but again, every time we said it, one team gets a score, the other one is quick to respond, and Limerick with that really good Caoimhe Costello point to stretch that lead, and then Offaly respond with their own equally good point at the other end, so nothing to separate these sides.
Yes, definitely was Roisin Egan who got the score for Offaly. We're level again for the 7th time, 9 points apiece, and the push inside means Limerick are going to get a free, and Caoimhe Costello will surely put Limerick back in front of this game and give them the advantage. It's in to win. We had that spell when Offaly went clear before half time. Limerick eventually pushed themselves back into it, nip and tuck in the closing stages.
Absolutely, it's been score for score as it has been, apart from maybe those 3 quick Offaly points just before half time, but other than that, both teams have been responding to each other's scores, and every time one goes ahead and looks to maybe stretch the lead, the other bounces back, and just after half time there it looked like Limerick maybe had done enough, missed the penalty opportunity I suppose, and that gave Offaly the chance to get back into it, and as I said, it's been score for score from there since, and Caoimhe Costello now with a chance to put Limerick ahead again, and you wouldn't bet against Offaly going down the field and equalising again.
We've had no goals in this game so far. Certainly one could be the winner for either side. Caoimhe Costello puts the ball over the bar. 4 minutes to go. It's Limerick 10, Offaly 9.
Yeah, and I suppose Offaly will probably rue their discipline a little bit. They've given Caoimhe Costello 4 scoring frees in the second half at a really crucial time when scores are really, really vital to them, and I suppose she's such an accurate free taker. The opportunity to give her those chances is just not there.
Big chance here for Niamh Ryan, who won the original ball, tried to play a 1-2. Well, did play a 1-2 with Caoimhe Costello. Rebecca the lead there, battling for possession now, and Offaly need to witness back. Sarah Harding with the ball, the hurl comes in, so it's going to be a free out. The advantage being given to the Offaly number 10, and she sent it down the other end of the field. Every ball here now vital in this game as Christine Cleary tries to get in that, but it's won by Muireann Creamer for Limerick. She is the full-back, bird number 3, as she lost possession. Louise Mannion is there for Offaly, but it's won by Mairead Ryan. Mairead Ryan is a player outsider, and that player is Stephanie Wolfe, and Stephanie Wolfe sends it down the field for Limerick as well, as Caoimhe Costello has support, and 2 Limerick players working together. Big chance here. Niamh Ryan gives the ball to Caoimhe Costello. Is this going to be close? It might drop down. It's gone over the bar, and Caoimhe Costello with a crucial score for Limerick has put 2 points between the teams, 11 points to 9.
Yeah, and that's probably the most crucial part of it, is that it now puts 2 points between the teams, which there hasn't been for a while, and a super score again from Caoimhe Costello, but it all came maybe from a ball that Offaly will be disappointed they didn't do better with at their end.
There was 2 points between them last year. Will it be enough for Limerick as Offaly look for a score to bring it back to a 1 point ball game? Caitlin Kennedy, where's number 20? She's there battling for possession with Sophie O'Callaghan, the player in the way there. And we continue on with the battle as Limerick again. The defenders really stepping up at the crucial stages they have to. Stephanie Wolf tries to clear the ball, but Offaly again fighting for an Offaly player has lost the ball by him to dribble it on the ground. Now Sarah Harding moving it down the right hand of the field of play with no her in the game. Needs support to come in to help her out. Limerick throwing bodies in there as well. The referee blows the whistle and is even going to pick up the hurl for Sarah Harding and Elaine. It's all to play for there. I'm not too sure what the decision was at the moment, but we're going to have a hold up.
I think we're going to have a hot ball in there, but it just shows you the intent. I suppose Sarah Harding trying to keep that ball moving forward literally at all costs, no hurl in her hand, and just holding her hand out as if to say to the rest of the Offaly girls, I have no hurl and I'm still going forward here. I could do with a bit of support, and credit to her, she kept that ball in there. She kept gaining inches for Offaly, and look, that's exactly what this game is going to come down to, is who can gain the most inches. And it looks like an injury now to a Limerick player in there, and probably just going to run down the clock a little bit for them.
That's a huge Twitter clip as well for later on, possibly with Sarah Harding on the move. Elaine, you'll be able to think about the Glen Dimplex player of the match. We'll announce that. We'll leave it a few minutes as well before we announce it, but we will announce that on the stroke of full time. We have our player of the match we'll be talking to after this game, but will that player of the match be from Limerick or from Offaly? At the moment, you'd have to imagine it will be a Limerick player. 11 points to 9 in front. I think Mairead Ryan was the player was on the ground again, but she's back putting on her white helmet, and good to continue. And as Elaine said, we will have the hot ball. 1 minute of normal time remaining here in Cappamore GA Club in the Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship. Limerick, I don't believe, have a victory at all in league or championship this year, or even in the Munster Championship. Is this the day, as we said at the start, that they're going to kick-start their 2022 year, or do Offaly have a sting in the tail to turn this around and put themselves back in contention in the summer series? All to play for here, but the ball is down in the corner and Offaly need to move it inside. Aisling Brennan has come up to help out the attack, breaks there, but Sarah Walsh doesn't manage to get in the ball, and good work from Limerick again, and from Rebecca DeLee, who brings it up a few yards, but it's back with Sarah Walsh, gives the pass off in the direction of Caitlin Kennedy. Caitlin Kennedy with the ball across, missed by the hand of Alva Larkin, and this is Christine Cleary. Christine Cleary on the move, I go for the shot, blocked down there by Muireann Creamer. Play continues on as Christine Cleary tries to get it back. The second time of asking. We look at the clock, the 30 minutes have been played, and now it's all down to the discretion of the referee Liz Dempsey. How much added time will be played? I mean, you'd imagine there'll be a couple of minutes, but the referee spots a pick on the ground. It's going to be a free out for Limerick, and that's a big moment there.
Yeah, they had that, they had maintained possession in there. They'd gone from the hot ball on the right hand side the whole way across the goal. They've been building a little bit of momentum, and I think it was momentum. I think it's a free against Sarah Harding for head down and charging, and she's already on a yellow card. If Liz Dempsey decides she's going to give her a second one here, it just makes the Offaly cause a little bit harder.
This is going to be a big concern here now for Offaly as well, and it looks like they're about to go down to 14 players because she has the yellow card, as you mentioned earlier on, and that is a second yellow card in this game. So Offaly are finishing the match with 14 players in. We're already in injury time here now. Can this rally the Offaly troops, or can Limerick just keep it composed? You'd imagine one more score will certainly be good enough for Limerick, but we don't know how much added time is going to be played. Is there a substitution taking place? There is a substitution taking place for Limerick, and it looks like it's a Niamh Curtin that will be entering the field of play, but Muireann Creamer is going to take this free out for Limerick, and she won't be any rush for it. And why would she be in a rush for it? To her team in complete control here, 11 points to 9. Once they don't concede a goal, you'd imagine it'll be enough. A big blow for Offaly as Limerick make their change.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, the substitution is probably just another couple of seconds gone off that clock now. A long free here now from Claire Keating will put Limerick on the attack, and no matter what happens, you'd imagine it's going to take a massive effort from Offaly to defend this and then get up the field and try and get a goal to take the spoils.
Claire Keating drove the ball down long and won back by Offaly. Caitlin Kennedy up the field, but Mairead Ryan gets the vital touch in that. Again, we mentioned the halfbacks and their influence in this game. Gives it off to Teresa Dorr. Teresa Dorr blocked off by an Offaly stick, so it's going to go out over the line. A Limerick sideline ball. The clock continues to tick away. Nearly 2 minutes of added time have been played. 2 points between the teams. Limerick 11, Offaly 9, and Limerick with the sideline cut and trying to use up every second that they can. Limerick, as we mentioned, relegated in Division 1 of the league. They were relegated by Offaly, lost to Tipperary in the Munster quarter-final, and have lost to Galway and Kilkenny in the opening 2 games of this competition. But are they about to turn their year around and pick up their first win and put themselves right back in the championship mix? They'll move up to 4th place, 1 point behind Antrim if they get the results. But we have a whole lot of play. It's going to be an Offaly ball anyway, but nobody taking responsibility. Sarah Walsh says, I'll go do that. And Sarah Walsh from Tullamore will get things moving here again as we have 2.5 minutes of added time. One last chance for Offaly, you will feel. Sarah Walsh along the ground trying to find Mairead Teahan, but Mairead Teahan up against Mairead Ryan. Offaly still in possession on the 45-metre line. This is the moment for Offaly now. Limerick defending like everything is on the line here, as well as Offaly bringing up a few yards there as well to bring it backwards, back in the direction of Roisin Egan. Roisin Egan with a long ball down and towards the inside line. It's a goal that they need, but they find Sophie O'Callaghan. Sophie O'Callaghan sends it out the field of play. No sign that we're going to finish the game yet. And it's Michelle Curtin with the ball for Limerick, moving down the right, plenty of space around Quiva Lyons to her left, and she wants to use her, bounces along the ground. This is great stuff from Michelle Curtin, continues what ground she has gained alone. Whether they finish with something or not has been massive, but the ball gets away and it goes out to the left and wide. A wide ball for Limerick. We're not finished yet, and Offaly restart the action through Eleanor Clendenin, looking for Sarah Walsh. Sarah Walsh outside the 45-metre line, has the ball, tries to get through the high challenge on Niamh Ryan, so it's going to be a free for Offaly. Niamh Ryan just staying in there afterwards when she didn't have to, so it's going to be a free for Offaly, going to be taken by Orla Gorman, but Niamh Ryan has been hurt there. Offaly getting another last chance.
Yeah, Niamh Ryan I think got the end of that swing, just came in on the end of it, caught it on the finger maybe, but as you said, another chance for Offaly, but really haven't made use of that one. Straight down on top of Sophie O'Callaghan again.
Sophie O'Callaghan with the ball there, lays it off for the teammate. The teammate is Rebecca DeLee, sends it out towards the right in the direction of Michelle Curtin. A vital touch there for Offaly. They win the ball as well. Can they keep control of it? This is the big moment again for Offaly. We said it in the third time. Orla Phelan starting the attack, but what an interception there from Mairead Ryan. The referee blows the final whistle. It's all over, and Limerick have picked up their first victory in 2022. A 2-point victory in a tense, dramatic, physical battle against Offaly. But is that the game that's going to turn their season around? Elaine Aylward, your overall thoughts in the game?
Yeah, what a super finish, I suppose, to a game that really there was nothing between the two sides for most of that 60 minutes. You know, Offaly had their purple patch just coming up to half time and went in those 2 points up at half time, playing with that breeze. Probably felt they could have done with a little bit more, but credit to them. You know, Limerick starts the second half with a real flurry and got their couple of scores on the board, but again Offaly responded, and right down to that last couple of seconds there was an ever to say die attitude, and I suppose that's exactly what you get from Offaly Camogie time and time again. But look, overall over the air I think Limerick probably played the better Camogie for most of that era and probably deserving of their victory in the end.
Massive result for Limerick. We'll have more discussion about it afterwards, but Elaine, before we take a quick break, the players that impressed you most of both teams and your overall Glen Dimplex player of the match?
Yeah, look, I suppose from an Offaly point of view, Eleanor Clendenin in the goal, stopped the penalty, stood tall, made another really, really crucial save. Her restarts were really good time and time again. Aisling Brennan at 6 scored 2 super long range points and was constantly driving forward from there. And up front, I suppose Sarah Harding, Mairead Teahan and Roisin Egan, Christine Cleary all brought the fight to Limerick for the most of that 60 minutes. From a Limerick point of view, look, their full back line, and wherever they played in those backs, Marion Kramer and Marion Quaid were outstanding. Sophie O'Callaghan at 6, wore 6, probably played cornerback and wing back. Niamh Ryan put herself around all over the field, in the middle of the field, but I think when it came down to it up front, Quiva Costello was probably the standout player. Finished with I think 9 points out of 11, you know, unerring from frees, and popped up with 2 really, really vital scores from play when it was most needed. So for me, number 12 for Limerick, Quiva Costello, player of the match today.
So Limerick's number 12, Quiva Costello, is the Glen Dimplex player of the match. We'll hear from Quiva in a few minutes' time. Don't go away. Myself and Elaine still will talk more about this game, but a famous victory for Limerick. They've got their first victory of the year. They're back in the championship. The final score here in Cappamore, Limerick 11 points, Offaly 9. Now, welcome back here to Cappamore at the end of an enthralling, definitely, Glen Dimplex All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship match. I'm joined by the Offaly Senior Camogie manager, Susan Erner. And Susan, no doubt you and your team are devastated how that finished out.
Yeah, they're absolutely devastated. They gave it everything, and like looking at the scoreboard, there was nothing in it, and I'm just so angry at some of the decisions that were made. It just seemed like the rub of the green went with Limerick all the time. Not taken away from Limerick's performance, they brought their A game and everything, but some of the decisions today were terrible, and it's just disappointing because we work so hard, and we just think that two teams deserve to go out and be treated fairly on both sides.
Yeah, there was definitely a period where breaks we were going to get against you one stage, but I suppose that the one thing that would have upset you at the end is losing the player to a red card.
Yeah, look, 2 yellows, it's dangerous. When you're on a yellow card, it is very dangerous. I'm not sure really what happened over there, whether something was said, but that just probably showed the frustration of my girls. A lot of things went against us, and they obviously got very frustrated at the end. Yeah, look, 2 yellow cards, or being on a yellow card, I suppose, in any game is dangerous. But yeah, we're really disappointed with that result.
I suppose if anything, it was just trying to create a big goal scoring chance the other end. It was tit for tat with the score at times. Limerick got their noses in front of a couple of big scores as well, and you just needed to threaten the Limerick goal at the closing stages.
Yeah, look, we have threatening forwards, and I suppose sometimes the ball spilled a couple of times, and another day, we would have had players like Maria Tehan or Sarah Harding on the end of them, and it just didn't break right for us today, unfortunately. Yeah, we were missing that goal at the end of it all, 2 points in it at the end.
Susan, you said at the start, of course, there's 5 games overall, so the year's not over. Maybe a quarter-final is out of reach for this team now, but you'll be determined to put in get the 2 big results in the closing stages to ensure senior status.
Yeah, look, like the aim of the game, I suppose, for us was to put in good performances, throughout the championship. Disappointed with Antrim, played relatively good against Galway. We played well today as well, probably slow to start in the first half. And then look, I know it's going to be hard to go into Kilkenny now in 2 weeks' time. It's going to be hard to get them going again. But I know that these girls, when they come up against the opposition like Kilkenny's and Galway's, that they up their game as well.
Well, Susan, hard look at the results today. Thanks a million for joining us here.
Thanks a million.
That was the Offaly Senior Camogie manager, Susan Erner, there talking to us as well. And we're just going in a moment now, we'll have our player of the match, Caoimhe Costello. I think she's been receiving her presentation there. So we can tell you anyway that all our player of the matches receive a Robert Speaking 320 Bluetooth speaker. And you'll get to see a picture of Caoimhe Costello with that in association with Info Photography. So Caoimhe's going to come over and join us here with her new cherished prize as well. And as Caoimhe comes up here, Caoimhe, I know it's not about individual prizes and all that, but it's a nice addition to be bringing home with you.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look, I'm delighted. I'm more delighted that we got the win in the end. It was nip and tuck, and it could have gone either way at the end. We're just hugely relieved to get over the line. It's been a long time coming. We've had a tough year of it, and to get a win, it's just no better feeling, really.
Yeah, because even in the commentary box, I was just doing it back in my head, of first win of the year too, and it's been a couple of difficult days in 2022. But I did say to John Lillis at the start that this could be the day to just restart your season. Yeah,
look, we've had it tough. We've had a good few injuries, and girls have stepped away for various different reasons. But the one thing we have is we have a very good group of players there. There's 24 tag today, and we have a few more at home that couldn't make it. But we're a very, very tight group. We know we have to work hard, and look, it paid off there in the end. We put our bodies on the line. It could have gone anyway, but I'm just so happy that we got our rewards today.
Work hard, as you mentioned there, was vital for both teams in this game as well, and especially in that third quarter where Offaly had finished off the half strongly, 6 points to 4 up. That win was witchy in the second half, but difficult to deal with nonetheless. 2 big frees you had in that third quarter, and it was vital that you nailed the 2 of them.
Yeah, look, that's my job, and it's no different to anyone else on the field. You have to back yourself, and Marion, our sports psychologist, has been very good in that. She's just like, take every free as it is, and that's what I did. I tried my best. I missed the penalty, and you have to dust yourself down and just get on with it and go to the next one. Forget those ones and take it as it comes. And
you certainly showed that at the end as well, because whenever we put the penalty as well, that wonderful score at the end there, combining with Niamh Ryan to put the ball over the bar, putting 2 between you. It was a big score, especially in a game lacking goals.
Yeah, look, the ball was worked out well from defence, and Niamh won her own ball. It was a dirty ball to win, and I would back Niamh all day long. I knew what she was going to do. We've played with each other for a very long time, so I knew that if she won the ball, if I came onto it at the right pace, that with that wind there, that the wind would do the rest of it.
Must be disappointed you have a week off again next week now. I'd say be Maddie, have a crack it down now.
Yeah, look, we'll enjoy tonight. Time has been a very, very long time coming, and look, it just gives Niamh and Rebecca have a very important football match in the first round of the Junior All-Ireland tomorrow, so having the week off next week probably gives them a little bit more time to recover, and yeah, we'll go to Down and we'll see what happens on that day.
We wish them the best luck as well. But congratulations to yourself, Caoimhe, Glen Dimplex, player of the match, and well done, Limerick.
Thank
finally up the mark this year. Well done.
Thank you.
That was our player of the match, Caoimhe Costello. We're going to be joined now by the Limerick Camogie manager, John Lillis. You're fighting the smile there in the background, John, as well. So many things we could go through in that game as well. But most importantly for your side is they dug deep when they had to get the result.
Oh, they dug extremely deep. I'm so happy. It's been a long time coming to try and get a win for this group, and to get it today in a home venue is absolutely outstanding. I'm just absolutely over the moon at the moment.
We talked about at the start, before the day, about kick-starting your season and all that. You certainly started with intent in the opening stages. No doubt you'd be disappointed maybe with some of the decisions that were made in attack because you left a few scores behind.
We had a number of goal scoring opportunities in the first half, 6 in total I think. We didn't take any of them. Look, between hitting posts, hitting goalkeepers, that's just been the story of our season this year. But still, we ploughed on, kept Offaly to 2 points into a very strong wind. We were worried if we kind of blew up too soon, but no, they dug deep, especially the last quarter. The subs we brought on made a massive impact. Caoimhe Costello there just putting over pints for fun when she got the room. It's brilliant to see, and just to acknowledge the crowd that we had here from Limerick as well, supporting us, give us that little extra bit. Look, it's been a good week for Limerick. It's great for us. We're finally back on the road. We can look forward to Down now in 2 weeks, knowing we have the win, and we can now some way look at a possibility of a quarter final.
Well, you're back in the hunt now, definitely. You mentioned the crowd there as well. They were definitely getting their voices behind the team, especially in the second half.
Yeah, and you don't realise it, a little cheer like that will give the girls so much of a lift. We have so many young girls playing on the team that are making their senior debuts this year. They wouldn't be experiencing anything like this. Look, Offaly fought from the very start to the very end. Only for Michelle Curtin tracking back so far to get that hook at the end, I think Offaly would have scored a goal and we would have said, look, we were unlucky again, we created chances, but that hook to take out the ball then and get it down to the far end. Mairead Ryan, great catch. Sophia Callum, a great catch at the end. Look, we're just absolutely delighted, and it's well overdue now at this stage.
Yeah, Caoimhe mentioned work rate too. We have to give a shout out to your defence as well. They stepped up to every challenge over the hour. That's
something we can't fault our girls on the whole year. Their commitment, their dedication, their work rate is second to none. Few things haven't gone our way. Look, that happens when you're rebuilding a whole new squad. The younger girls are going to learn, but the one thing that we've never faltered on is the work rate. They have worked every night we go to training, every time we go to match. No matter what the scoreline is, they stay working and stay working and working. And look, I'm absolutely delighted they got the win. They absolutely deserve it. I know it's hard to take for Offaly. They got one over us in the relegation. We thought coming in here today we needed to get the win. We were lucky wins today, so we're just absolutely over the moon.
And John, I'm going to let you enjoy it as well. You've waited long enough for it. Well done.
It's been a while. Thanks very much.
I was John Lillis, Limerick Camogie manager. John, thanks a million for joining us there as well. Elaine is coming back here to have a quick chat before we finish up our coverage there. We say again goodbye to Caoimhe Costello, our player of the match, as she just leaves our screen there. Elaine, let's just look at the Limerick side of things there first as well. Of course, as you said in the commentary numerous times, it was about throwing yourself in there, getting in for the battle when they had to, and Limerick just did that enough times.
Yeah, they just did it a little bit more than Offaly today on occasion, and look, we always knew it was going to come down to a small margin between the two of them. As I said, they've known one another so well. Offaly came out on top in the Division 1 relegation final earlier in the year, so Limerick knew exactly what they needed to bring here today, and look, they brought it in spades, but Offaly, that dogged determination just wouldn't go away, you know, and even at times when it looked like Limerick were going to stretch ahead and head for victory, you know, Offaly dug in, and right until the last minute there, that's why Caoimhe's second point there from play was so important. It put two between them, and I suppose it forced Offaly to go for the goal coming near the end there. They didn't have the option of taking a handy point, which they might have done if there'd only been a point between it. So look, as we expected, very little between the two of them. Limerick probably marginally better over the hour.
What does it mean to Limerick? I know we've mentioned it a few times, but they hadn't won a game this year. It's 7 or 8 competitive matches they'd played this season before today as well. A lot of new players, a lot of overturning players. People have talked about, you know, Limerick, so who's here, who's not, and this, that and the other. But for this group of players who are on the field to play, and for the management team and everyone associated, what does it mean just to finally get a win?
That's exactly it. I think Caoimhe just said to me, 8 games on the trot now without a victory. So that's exactly what it means. Those 8 games are now forgotten because you've got your one championship victory. And look, it probably fell kind of nicely for for them this year. As you said, they've gotten Galway and Kilkenny out of the way now, and they've got their championship up and running. I suppose they really feel now like they have their 3 points on the board. They're back in the mix, and they'll travel to Down now with huge momentum, and they look forward to that now, as opposed to coming on off the back of a 9th loss, and that's nothing to look forward to, still heading into only being halfway through a championship. So as I said, it throws the doors wide open for Limerick now again, and they can go and challenge for the rest of the year.
And they'll certainly be full of confidence now. Go up against a Down team that took a heavy beating today as well, but we know how difficult Down are to play, especially at home as well. That's going to be a massive match in 2 weeks.
It is going to be huge again, and look, as you said, Down coming off the back of a heavy defeat today, Limerick now coming off the back of a victory, and be it a 2-point or a 20-point victory, it's still a championship win, and look, that's what you're playing for. That's all you want, is championship victory. So Limerick are going to travel, like, it's going to be a lot easier to go back into training in Limerick this week than it will be go back into training in Down, but I've no doubt there'll be a bit bounce back in Down in 2 weeks time as well. So as you said, a huge game to come in this group.
Offaly are going to need a bounce back as well. They'll hardly get it against Kilkenny, but obviously, as we heard from Susan earlier there, she wasn't happy with a couple of the decisions out there.
Yeah, look, and I suppose over the course of the hour, when there's only 2 points or such a slim victory in the end, you're going to initially challenge everything that happens on the field. Or Limerick probably got the handier frees, certainly probably got more of them, but look, I think that was down to a little bit of ill-discipline from Offaly on occasion. And then I suppose when you have a free taker the quality of Caoimhe Costello, she's going to punish you at every opportunity. So those frees are going to prove costly, and look, to Offaly's credit, they never died, as I was expected that they wouldn't. They fought right to the end there, and as Susan herself said, just a couple of the last passes maybe not sticking, not going straight to hand, and that just didn't give them the opportunities.
Probably the first half, when they had their purple patches, they did get a few scores at the end of the first half, but there was chances earlier on. You said it as well in the commentary, that was the time Offaly really needed to do damage.
Yeah, look, they put 3 fantastic scores together from I think the 26th to the 32nd minute, but it took that 26 minutes, and unfortunately for them, they had played that first 26 minutes with the breeze behind them, and just they'd left Limerick in the game, I suppose, and I'm not sure if they won the toss and opted to play with it or not. But look, I suppose you can't afford to not take advantage of that win for 25 minutes in the first half and going only 2 points up. Like, it's easily a 4 or 5 point breeze probably when you're standing down here pitch side. So they needed to have more in it, possibly needed to even get a goal, but rarely troubled the Limerick goal, to their credit, and credit to the Limerick backs for that. They shut them down at every opportunity, but Offaly probably needed more done in the first half to make it anyway comfortable for them in the second.
Picking themselves up is going to be the challenge as well, because we know Offaly's battling skills, as you've mentioned as well, but of course if they don't get the result against Kilkenny, it could be out of their hands avoiding the relegation final as well. But if it's not, that's their All-Ireland final now against Down in 3 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you wouldn't expect them to get a result against Kilkenny, and that's no disrespect to them, and it's not being from a Kilkenny person here, but they're the seeded team. They've been in the All-Irelands the last couple of years. They're unbeaten in the group along with Galway, so you would expect Kilkenny to take the points there, and I think they're at home in that game as well. So a huge game then, as you said, in their final game for Offaly, and that's really the one they'll need to get a bounce back in that if they're to have any momentum to carry into a relegation battle.
Going back to our final question about Limerick, of course they've the victory. We've talked about Down. Group 2 suddenly got interesting for that third spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Limerick winning here today, I suppose, throws it wide open again. Down taking a heavy defeat, and Antrim pushing Kilkenny all the way up in Dunloy. So look, it's been all about Group 1 so far, but I think Group 2 is playing catch up this round, and we're certainly, as I said, there's no giveaways in it anymore.
Certainly not as well. And in 2 weeks' time we will be back with Group 2 action. We've Antrim against Galway, Kilkenny against Offaly, and Down against Limerick. But of course next week it's all about Group 1, Tipperary against Wexford, Waterford against Cork, Clare against Dublin. We'll be at one of those games as well. I'd like to thank Elaine Elwood for joining myself, Darren Kelly here in the commentary box today, and to Dave, Owen and Luke, part of the Entry team, who brought you this coverage here on the Camogie Association YouTube channel. We knew it was going to be a tight battle. It certainly didn't disappoint, but at the end of the day it's Limerick finally getting their first victory in 2022. Are the Shannon Siders about to go on a journey like their lads have done so often in recent years? Time will tell, but they have the win today. They'll celebrate tonight. The final score here in Cappamore, Limerick the winners by 2 points. It finished Limerick 11 points, Offaly 9.